And that dress got curves. You know what I mean?
Hey man, that's I don't know who that is.
Amber, Pellet and Amber. She's really fun.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
she
about
streams.
now. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. For sure. We are live, by the way.
Oh man.
Oh man,
We are
I love how it's
live,
like,
by the way.
oh yeah, now for sure. By the way, and I hear the cameras.
Yeah, we are live, by the way. We're good to go. Walt, would you mind checking the audio, good sir?
Yeah.
What game are you playing?
Old
Let's
Elden
see.
Ring.
Oh,
All right, we'll check the sound and then.
I need y'all to talk. Like this
My
ain't,
bad, my bad. Yo,
Yeah.
what's up?
my fault. I'm trying to think about what to put on this godforsaken thumbnail.
I know that this week was kind of odd. It's kind of weird. We already got 2 watchers. What's up? What's going
I
on?
mean, it started off with a bang, and then after that, it just kind of fizzled out.
I know, for real, man. It's like when you had that really good meal and that first bite, it's like, damn, I can go for some more, and then you just don't feel like eating anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly how this week was. Let's see, we got. It's all about the monies.
Yeah, Babylon's fought dropped to 1 concurrent player on PC this week.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Holy crap!
You sound great.
that's
Sweet. How do you sound though?
wild.
I sound beautiful.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah, man.
Well, Walt, you always sound beautiful though.
Oh man, shucks. Stop
God
it.
damn it.
You too. Don't worry. So
You
you
too.
too.
Don't worry. Don't get all riled up,
We'll
man.
share the
Don't worry.
love. It's okay,
Yeah, man. There's enough here to pass around.
Yeah, I was starting to get worried, man.
Yeah, man. Don't
Good.
worry.
Good.
We will embrace you.
Shut up.
Wait.
Shut up, Walt.
Oh, okay, I remembered. Your bullshit talking distracted me for a second. Got it.
You funny. He's a funny guy.
Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, I tweeted out. We're good there. Now I can actually start playing.
Yeah, punk.
God,
Yeah, punk.
You punk.
is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Whoa, who's what's the name of the main character from the first Mafia game? It's Tommy, right?
Yeah, it's Tommy. He has nothing to do with the families. He's like a grunt,
Okay.
I think. Then it's what, Vito Scaletta, and then Lincoln Clay.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
Man, good stuff.
man. I'm not funny anything about it.
About I don't think there's a lot of lore about him.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a good picture of him, but
Oh, gotcha. Look one from the remake.
yeah, I wanted to use like the actual like cover art because like that's a damn good picture of him, man.
It's a fantastic cover art too.
Yeah. Let's see if
So I
can-
think you might need to raise up your mic just a little bit. You sound a little low.
Low to
How
the
about
floor.
how about now?
Yeah, it sounds more clear.
Okay.
By the way, I haven't dived into it. I don't have it, but just letting everyone know, Ghostwire Tokyo is 34% off. It's $39.59 on the PS store.
My my question to you is gonna be, did you buy it?
Nope. Not yet. I have too many games to like play other game.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I'll talk about it later. But I got
I'm in
into
that
another
same.
game
I'm in
this
the
week.
same boat with you. By the way, nice job on level 1. The level 1 gaming podcast. I forgot.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Right, is level 1 gaming podcast? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Level 1, the double XP podcast.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, I knew it was a really cool name.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shout out to them, man.
Yeah, man. They
Yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, yeah, you got some smoke for me.
I got some smoke from Macho. Y'all want to watch it on Low One Gaming on YouTube?
It was great. I was having a good old time watching that.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of fun with them. It all flowed really well. Like there's some cool people over there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Never.
All right. Guys, welcome back to the 59th episode of the DualShock Sense Podcast. I'm your host, Soul, connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by my two co-hosts. I got this big-headed motherfucker. I got Walt. Hey man, how you doing, man?
Fuck you. So, welcome.
That was the funniest thing, man. the DMs had me crying.
This man saw that I was in another podcast, and he was like, "Oh, you can't mistake that big head anywhere." It's like, yeah, man. Takes one to know one. You know what I mean? Shut the hell up.
Hey, man. My head's normally sized. Thank you very much.
What's normal? This man looking like that Buzzwole Pokemon, know what I mean? Got no head.
You ask what's normal? Anything that's not yours, man. I'm just kidding.
This man waiting for. I'm doing well, man. And welcome to the DualShock Sense Podcast, everyone. I am the second or third or first, depending on how we introduce it. There's no order here. There's only chaos. Walt is here to talk news of clownery, of buffoonery.
What's going on, man?
I want to throw y'all off. I want to see how long I can have the spotlight for until you go crazy.
He's letting all the brain fluid just flood out of his ears and out of his mouth right now. So
yeah, you know when you got water in your ear and you you hit the other side of your head. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah, get that juice going. But no, man. Excited to talk games and news and stuff actually happened. Some may call it the right move. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be rude, but you talking right now reminded me of this episode from Britannia that I watched a while back, where this ensemble of characters, this traveling band. Where they were stopped in this field, and because they were waiting for this character who rode off to she was doing some reconnaissance.
Right.
She came back to tell the group what she found, and she was exhausted. She was out of breath, so she was taking a long time to talk. And one of the characters was snapping his fingers. he was like, "Come on, get on with it." I ain't gonna lie, man. I was about to do that. We also got Macho here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dog. I'm doing great. It was a productive week in gaming. As we mentioned before, we had a bombshell at the beginning, and it just kind of trickled off and came to nothing by today. But man, I'm just enjoying games right now. That's it, man. I'm enjoying games. I'm enjoying the smoke. I'm enjoying my good buddies here going places, and I'm really happy about it. So, man, it's been a good week. So let's get the podcast started. It's the Kingdom Hearts 5 fanatic. You thought I forgot, didn't you? Nope.
I was about to say, Walt forgot his main his name. Man.
I haven't read as much manga, so I don't deserve that title for now. But I'll
manga fraud.
He'll make a phony. No, but he'll make a resurgence. He'll make a, because right now we're just focusing on them games. So I can't say the video game something, because obviously we all play video games. The fuck.
The Elden Lord.
So we got a good show planned for you guys. Before we do get started, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out, comment, let us know what we got wrong, what we got right.
Yeah. Don't leave your weird links backing to any weird sites that we had before.
They won't listen, man. They're not real people. Don't bother talking to them.
The bats.
Yeah. But yeah, man, let's start off by talking about the games that we have been playing this week. Mine is pretty short, so I'll kick things off. I've really just been diving like a lot more into Divinity Original Sin 2. I did not expect to be as like I'm not gonna say that word because y'all are gonna say pause. But let's
Sucked
say
in. Is that what you're gonna say?
yeah. Let's say this game has really sunk its teeth into me.
You're invested. You haven't been as invested.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like it reminds me very much in the vein of like how invested I was in the Cyberpunk. Like immediately off the bat, I
Oh
was just
wow.
like, oh yeah, this is a game that I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable future. And unless I hit a wall or something like that, I think it's going to be the same thing with this game. Yeah, it's just really fun, man. I'm having a lot of fun with the RPG elements. The combat is still like it was kind of like a breeze after I got off of Fort Joy. Now I'm in this new area and everyone is kind of like at the same level as I am. So now I'm kind of having like it. Now it feels like it's a real struggle, a real back and forth, which is like I'm not completely opposed to it, but yeah, it is kind of feeling a little bit difficult again. But
After that
besides
firm
that,
ass kicking, you're just really enjoying it.
yeah, I guess so. Um, there was so I'm gonna talk a little bit about like the quests. But one quest I wanted to talk about specifically was, um, God, what just to show you guys like this like the quest in this game isn't like a simple like with Dragon Age Inquisition, for instance, and I brought it up on the podcast before, but it was like a lot of um, go and find this character's ring. Okay, you got the ring, bring it back. End of quest. Go to this area, kill 10 goats for their meat or whatever. All right, once you got the 10 meat, bring it back to the guy who told you to do it. That's it. Quest complete. Right? Like it was very much like I don't know, like very surface level, like
Very
uh
fantasy, like fetch quest kind of thing.
fetch quests. Like you're dipping your toe into the water, like it's not deep at all. Um, that was like my like a lot of my issues with Inquisition specifically. But with this game, man, it feels sort of Witcher-esque in the sense that like every person you talk to has this long thread of a quest that turns into the whole ordeal, and it's very involved, it's very engaging. It feels very different from the last thing that you did. So my biggest example of this was I think yesterday or maybe a few days ago, I did this quest where like, and I stumbled upon it, right? This, which is also like a really cool thing, is that like sometimes you just like you're walking around the world and you find quests completely by accident. I killed this sort of like nest of monsters, and I noticed like really just randomly picked up an egg that they were guarding. It was kind of like off to the back. So yeah, I picked up the egg,
What a
and
homewrecker.
it brought up a quest on my quest log, saying that I needed to return this egg to a sort of hen of chickens that I stumbled upon earlier. So I went back to the hen, and I needed to return the egg to the mother of like the mother chicken or whatever. So there's like 10 chickens like running around this small little area. I give the egg to the mother. The mother kind of like I don't know, quacks or whatever the fuck chicken noises makes or whatever.
Yeah, quack. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 or clucks or whatever.
There you go.
I gave it to her. She clucks. And the quest, the quest log tells me to return in a couple days. I'm like, okay, cool, bet. So I walk around town, talk to some more people, whatever. I come back eventually. It's literally like bloodshed. All the chickens are fucking dead. And I'm like, and it's funny because like all the chickens have like names too.
Oh
So it's
my
like,
god.
oh no, not little Peep. Oh no, he died too. Um, so yeah, and even the mother chicken died too. I was like, what the fuck happened here? And I see the egg that I brought to her hatched into this black like evil chicken, and and then I talk to
What?
it, and it clucks, and then it starts following me around because it's like I'm the one who found the egg, so it thinks that I'm its mother. So this chicken starts following me around for like the rest of my the rest of like I'm just like in this area, almost like a party member. He doesn't attack or anything like that, but he has his own health bar. His name is Peeper, and he's like literally just like following me around.
His name is what?
Peeper.
Peeper?
Peeper.
Okay.
Peeper. Peeper.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the noise that he makes. He peeps. So so the only bad thing is that he has like 50 health. In comparison to like me and my team, we each have like 500 health. So so
Damn.
literally like the third time I got into a battle last night, he died.
Damn.
And literally the quest log, like it updated, it was like after the chicken like joined my party, it was like be a mother to the chicken. You know, like I'm like I did a shitty job of that, man. He died immediately. But yeah, like
What a
that's just
shitty
an
mother.
example. That's just an example of like kind of like the quality quests that you can run into in this game. That was like completely by accident. That wasn't like I didn't talk to the mother chicken and like got the quest from her. This was something I literally just like stumbled upon by chance, which is pretty cool. Now on the flip side, yeah. On the flip side, what I will say is that I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by the quests. Because like I just said, how involved and multi-layered they are, and like you have to travel like far and wide to accomplish some of these things. And like at the same time, it's like sometimes you need certain skills to be like certain levels, right? If you're not high enough level in thievery or persuasion in this certain area, or you can't pass, you know, certain persuasion checks, then you can't really progress, right? So then you have to go back and upgrade those skills and things like that. So like it is very like multi-layered. And I'm feeling a little overwhelmed in the sense that like literally everyone you talk to, I just made it to this new town and there are so many people in this town, and literally everyone I talk to, oh, new quest, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
literally just looking at my quest log right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 quests.
Jesus
And
Christ.
and only one in there is like my main quest, and this isn't even including my companion quest as well, which is a 3 aside. So I'm definitely feeling a bit overwhelmed because like I'm in that mindset where like okay, like let's start knocking these out. But one of the ones I wanted to knock out was I have to go to this cave to find this missing magician, and it's being like the cave is like in this old abandoned ruin or like fort, and I can't beat the people there. Like they are way too strong. So it's like okay, fuck, like I can't do this quest right now. So I have to move on to another one. So yeah, it's just kind of like that where it's a lot, but there's also like barriers that kind of like you have to be like very like you have to be like strong in order to do these, or again you need specific levels with specific skill sets and things like that. So it's just a lot right now, but again like the reason why I keep going is because the quests are so enjoyable, the people are so interesting, they're all such characters and interesting and weird and things like that. Like I had like a drinking contest with this one like elf lady, and she still passed out on the floor of this tavern that I walked into every day. She still passed out from that drinking contest. I went to this battle arena, and the sort of like champion of this arena, she cheats. That's the way. That's how she got to the top at the. That's how she became the champion. And she said the only way that she'll let me fight in the arena is with a blindfold. So I literally went down there, competed like with a blindfold on, but like it affects like your accuracy, which is like it's kind of cool, right? For that entire battle that I had down there. But yeah, it's just things like that, man. It's a really really cool game, but at the same time, yeah, it's so much, man. It's so much. Um,
Is it like
but yeah.
Witcher 3 levels of content?
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. I just feel like with The Witcher 3 it was much more like it was easier to knock out these quests in that game, where here it's like I don't know, it's just there's a lot more to it. I'm not saying that like you know like the writing is better and like one or the other because they're both like superb in that department. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot more steps in order to actually complete these quests in Divinity than The Witcher.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But really, that's about it for me this week. I think I have something like 30. This is a wild guess, but I think I have like 30 hours in Divinity already.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. I against my better judgment, I did play a bit more Elden Ring. But I'll let Macho kind of get more into that.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, really quick.
Go for it.
So you guys might give me some smoke for this. So someone in my class, we were doing this project, called like a personality crest. So we had to make like a coat of arms, and like within the actual like shield, show certain things that represent like your interests and things that you like and things like that. One guy I noticed for his crest, he put goddamn Returnal in there, and I was like, yeah, I was like, oh shit, we have a Returnal fan. That's rare. So the next day in class, I sought him out, man. I had the heat-seeking goggles on, and I sought him out.
Be friends with me. We know the same thing.
Honestly, yeah, with that same voice and everything. That's what I said.
Exactly how he sounds like.
Yeah. So so I sought him out, and at the beginning of class, and I was like, "Hey, man, you're so and so, right? You put Returnal on your crest, right?" And he kind of like stopped what he was doing on his laptop. He's like, "Yeah, dude, that was me." That's not what he sounded like at all. Just for transparency's sake. Transparency's sake. But yeah, he was like, yeah, that was me. So we started talking about the game a little bit, like the bosses and the gameplay and whatnot. And he asked me like, hey man, did you play the Ascension update? He was like, no man, I didn't get to it. He was like, yo, give me your PSN. Like I'll totally run through it with you. I was like, bet, yeah, let's do it. So we haven't done it yet, but yeah, we're planning to tackle the Returnal DLC sometime in the near future. So yeah,
nice. Look at you making friends. I'm so proud.
Look at this man.
Yeah, man. That's apparently what that school is all about, man. They really hype up networking, that you need that network while you're there and shit like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, you never know. This guy could be making the next big great game or movie, and you're like, hey man, I play Returnal with that guy.
Honestly, yeah, we're like. We have this project in the class that I'm in right now. It's kind of like making like my group is making like a video game. It doesn't necessarily need to be like an actual like full-fledged like working video game, but like it could be just like a concept or something like that. I think my group is actually going to make a demo, but like it's an interesting experience because like I have like I'm the writer on the team, and then we have like our lead like game designer, we have an artist, we have a guy who's in charge of the music, like et cetera, et cetera. Like we have everyone who's like in a role right now. Someone already made like the box art for the game, and it's so interesting where like we are sitting, like it almost felt like pseudo like I was in like a game studio or something like that, like talking about like pitching a game. Because like we were like in a like collaborating, like okay, like starting from scratch, like okay, like what kind of game do we want to make? Like let's think about like the story, like what's the game world gonna look like, what's the core gameplay gonna look like, what are we gonna have players doing, like et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, like it's been
a lot that
really
goes
cool.
into it, man.
Yeah,
man, it's not as easy as people think it is.
Yeah, man, and then the fact that like getting people to agree first and foremost, right? Like that's that's a thing within itself. But it was actually pretty like quick and painless, which was pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for me for this week. What about you guys?
Well, you go first since our Elden Ring chat is gonna be a little bit.
It's gonna be a little bit.
Yes, sir.
This week, I've been playing some more Kirby. Because there's a lot of challenges you can do in each level that it's like difficult challenges, which, to be fair, they're a bit difficult. Like some of them, I'm like, oh,
Kirby's so cute, man.
Dude, Kirby is the most adorable little thing.
Wait, I want to know why did Macho groan when I said that?
No, I didn't grow.
Oh, you didn't? I
No.
thought I heard like a sigh.
No,
Like a
no.
sigh.
You have to remember, I play Kingdom Hearts. I'm not gonna judge you if you like Kirby, dog.
All right.
Shut the hell up. So, for this week, I played that. I've been playing, whatchamacallit? I really got into Dead by Daylight. So Dead by Daylight I played a couple of years ago, and I dropped it because I was playing with some friends and they stopped playing, and I was like, okay, I guess it's not as much fun. But recently I've been getting very heavy into like getting back into horror movies and horror just icons like Sadako from The Ring and like Pighead from Saw and all this. And this is a game that you can play as them as a killer, and this is a multiplayer game. 4 survivors, 1 killer. Basically, the 4 survivors, they need to turn on these generators and open the gate and escape. And the killer, everyone's an actual player. You can play against bots if you want, but it's 1 killer, 4 survivors, and you have to, work as a team to turn on these generators. The killer can put you on these hooks that if you get put on these hooks 3 times, on the 3rd one you get sacrificed to the entity, which is basically just the whole like theme of the game. All these killers are summoned here by the entity to do their bidding, and basically it's a cat and mouse kind of thing where they have to do that before the killer gets them. And as the killer, you can't just, oh, there's someone, I'm gonna kill them. You have to really think about, is it worth my time killing this one person, or should I go to the other side of the map where they might be turning on the other generator and damage that generator and grab that person and put them on the hook. It's really cool, the different ways that you can play, and there's like a lot of killers and a lot of different survivors. Like for survivors, they have people like Ash from Evil Dead.
That's cool.
And yeah, they have a lot. They have Leon, they have Claire because they did that Resident Evil expansion. So they brought Leon and Claire as playable survivors. So as an enemy, you have Nemesis as a killer, so you can play as Nemesis.
Dope.
You have people like Michael Myers. You have people like
Freddy Krueger.
You have Freddy Krueger, and the name is not Freddy Krueger; it's the Nightmare. So each killer has just the something.
That's how they skirt around the actual rights of the characters and stuff like that. That's funny.
But it's crazy because Michael Myers is one of them, where when you play as Michael Myers for the first couple of seconds, you hear the like you hear the theme. It's the only one that has that. You have people like what's the guy with a lot of needles on his face?
Hellraiser, I think his name.
Hellraiser. They have Hellraiser. You got people like what do you?
Obviously, they have Jason Voorhees, right? Like that's
no, they don't.
What? They don't have Hockey Mask?
I don't think they have the rights for that. I don't know if that's because of Friday the 13th, the game. That would be like insane if they had Jason in this game.
Well, that IP in general has had some really weird copyright and like owner and disparagement like issues and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, it's always had a lot of problems. They have Ghostface. Yeah. They have Pyramid Head. It's really cool. They have Leatherface. Like they have a lot of great characters, and some of them are based on certain enemies. Like they have one called the Hillbilly. It's very much like the hills have eyes. Kind of mutant. So I've been playing that all week. I really every now and then, like a couple of minutes every day. It's a lot of fun. And aside from that one, I've been playing Among Us with a group of friends that got back into it, but it's essentially a group of friends that invited me to their D&D group. So we play D&D and then we play a little bit Among Us. So I've been playing that, which I guess that's something I've been playing.
Whoa.
What?
Two points really quick.
Yeah.
First off, you have friends, man? And second of all,
yikes!
And second of all, I'm bringing you to court right now.
Yeah.
Second of all, you're playing Among Us without me and Macho? What?
I know, right?
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Macho, I don't know about you, man, but I'm feeling a little betrayed.
Among Us. Hey, listen, man. Listen.
I thought about hitting him up yesterday too for Elden Ring slander. I don't know, man. This is wild.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Shut your mouth. I hadn't play Among Us in so long. I was like, oh man, I forgot how to play this. How do you lie?
Yeah, I played it once and that was it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun with it. We had like 10 people, so it was a lot of fun. Just everyone, and it was in Spanish, so it was a lot of boricuas just being loud. I loved it.
Gotta love it.
Which that's something I guess I've played this week. I played D&D like I do every Monday with a group of friends, and then with the other group of friends, I got into their campaign because they just started recently. So I'm gonna build my character for that one. It'll be every Tuesday, I believe. For not video game related. I since last Saturday, I had mentioned I was gonna watch a certain movie. And I watched Morbius after the podcast last week. So here's the thing, right? Last night I watched Doctor Strange, right? And
no spoilers. No spoilers.
No, I'm not spoiling because that's a big huge one. It just came out. I loved it. I love Doctor Strange. That movie it's probably on like one of my favorites in the new phase. A lot of people are like shitting on it and like very in certain ways, and I get it, but in my mind, in my heart, it's like it's one of the top ones for this phase.
Dope.
It doesn't. Listen, and I specify this phase because
don't go into detail. I'm watching tomorrow.
No. Listen, because phase 3,
here we go.
Infinity War and Endgame, it's hard to top those kinds of movies. That's what I mean. Like it's hard to top.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Infinity War, I don't think it will ever be topped by Marvel again.
I have to agree.
So Morbius, right? So I watched Morbius, and at first I was like, okay, cinematography's not bad, everything's going well. There's some origin stuff going on right now where it's a flashback, and then dialogue starts to happen, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. It keeps unfolding. The powers start kicking in. That's something I have to really praise of the movie. The effects, the way that they made Morbius's powers like develop and manifest. I think that's like one of the coolest ways to do it. To highlight one of the ways that he did it, there's vampires can fly, right? So you see how
don't spoil this one too, man.
Shut the hell up. No one cares. So there's a scene where
maybe someone who does, man.
Well, don't watch the podcast. Spoiler alert for the next 3 minutes.
Don't tell people. Why would you tell people not to watch our podcast?
Especially for a bad movie. Don't defend this bad movie.
Skip 3 minutes. So there's this one scene because I want to highlight it because I do think it's a cool scene. Everything slows down and he starts looking at his surroundings, and he starts seeing like these streams of winds or like drafts in the air, and he starts feeling them out, and he's like, okay, like I'm feeling it, and he just starts running, and he like catches a draft or whatever, and he starts flying. It's like the way they did it is really cool. I was like, whoa, they show me how flying works.
I want Walt to recap every movie in existence after that. He starts feeling the wind. He's like, I'm feeling it, and he's like, whoa, he lets me fly.
Listen, after watching Doctor Strange and thinking about Morbius, I was like, okay, I get it. I get it why people are shitting on it. I wouldn't call it the dumpster fire people are saying it is by any means. But I do think it's incredibly underwhelming considering there's Marvel attached to it, and with Marvel you expect something, different. I definitely think that it makes Venom look like a damn masterpiece for sure.
Wait, Doctor Strange makes Venom look like a masterpiece?
No, Morbius.
Oh,
we're talking Sony.
Okay. Okay, I was like, damn, he must have really not liked Doctor Strange.
No, Doctor Strange, bro. No, that shit was good. No, but yeah, Morbius was an experience. Would I recommend watching it? No.
Listen, you know it's a dumpster fire when Hideo Kojima just tweets out, "I saw Morbius." and
Yeah.
that's it. And he doesn't expound upon those thoughts.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
the
man.
funniest tweets when he just said I saw it and then he just doesn't say anything else after.
So in
I
light
think he
of
did that for Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, he did.
vampirism, I recommend the Underworld series, an actual good vampire movie. I like Underworld, so go watch that instead of Morbius.
Yeah, a bit cheesy by now, but it's still really good.
It's cheesy, but yeah, it's like a good Saturday movie. I feel like if you just want
Yeah,
to watch something.
yeah, very true.
So yeah, watch that. Spend your money on that.
All right,
And
cool.
that's been my week, man. Very chill week.
Cool. All right, yeah. Then I'll just jumping on the vampire train, man. I have been diving hella deep into Castlevania
Pause.
series, um, fully deep into sinking my teeth into, as one will say on this podcast, into the Castlevania series, and it's mostly I've been really trying to just knock out the classic Vanias, as some people refer them to as, is really just kind of like the standard formula of the 2D platform side scroller, action side scroller. There's not much depth to it, right? You just go from left to right, right to left, and you have your boss at the end of the stages. It's been like that for like maybe like 7 games at this point, and the last one that I just beat was Bloodlines. Was it Bloodlines? No, no, it was Rondo of Blood. That's the one, right? That's a prequel to what's it called? Symphony of the Night. So I
Is
just
that the one
finished.
with Richter?
Yeah, that's the one with Richter. And it was like really the first time where they actually have alternate paths like in the game or for a Castlevania game. So in Rondo of Blood, you'll have certain stages where you actually have certain unlockables. So you have to find like a key, and then you're able to unlock a gates that will lead to like a new character that's like involved in the storyline, something like that. So that was one of the first times that they actually introduced that kind of stuff, and it's really cool to kind of see the evolution of the series from where it was in Castlevania 1 to Rondo of Blood to I just started Symphony of the Night, and it's already just like huge drastic change of like what a Castlevania is. Like it's kind of like God of War in a sense where you have the DNA of the IP of the franchise, like it's there, you feel it, and it's there throughout, but it's a completely different formula. I guess you could kind of compare it to Elden Ring as well, where you have like the DNA of Souls, but it's like embedded into like this open world aspect of it. So it's really interesting stuff, and it's really cool. I really started to fall in love with the Castlevania series, even since the first one, where I thought like honestly the I guess like the old school game jank would kind of piss me off, but it really hasn't. It was actually really enjoyable. The music is amazing, the gameplay is tight and it's fun, and I kind of carry through like the rest of the game so far. And I'm really surprised, man. I got really love this series, and I'm like I said, I'm slowly falling in love with it, with all the characters, the timeline aspects of it too. Where there's one game that was called Castlevania Bloodlines that actually took place, I think, during World War I. So things were a little more. You actually had like a factory or like a machine factory stage in it and everything, and you actually had a different character that actually used a trident instead of a regular chain whip that you just see mostly in the rest of the series. But I'm really looking forward to what Symphony of the Night does, because even to this day, that game is regarded as like one of the best games of all time, and really kind of set the foundation as like a Metroidvania style game from here on out. Like that was like a blueprint for everything else afterwards. Hollow Knight, right? Guacamelee, like all that stuff is influenced by Symphony of the Night. So I'm really interested to see like what this game does to like be that foundation. And in a lot of senses, kind of like how Chrono Trigger was for JRPGs back then. Symphony of the Night, same thing for Metroidvanias. So really excited to dive into that and to dive into the rest of the Castlevania games. But the main game that I actually finished during the weekend of last week was Elden Ring, fellas. This was quite a journey. Um, Man, there's so much to talk about with Elden Ring, guys. Like, I know, so you're getting like right into, so I'm not gonna get into like crazy spoilers, like end game boss spoilers or anything like that. But I think where I stand on with Elden Ring is it's one of my favorite fantasy games, and it goes for all Souls games, I think too. This is one of my favorite dark fantasy games out there, probably the best that there is, next to the Castlevania series for me. But as action games, I sometimes I just fucking despise them. and it's really because of the technicality parts of it. Like it like controls don't really feel super tight all the time. There's just some instances where the game just really wants to piss you off in terms of its mechanics, and it even goes into Bloodborne 2, where like I was having like a lot of input lag with certain bosses. Orphan of the Cause was one. Lady Maria, I definitely felt the input lag in that one boss. But for the last two bosses, I'll say for Elden Ring, it wasn't that bad in the second to last boss fight, but I still felt it. The last boss fight, man, well, I don't know if you felt the same way, if you had the same rage, but like there was moments where like obviously there's a long buffer window that these bosses do that I mentioned before. It kind of pisses me off. But it was the input lag that whenever when I told my character to dodge and they will do it like a second to 2 seconds later, that really screwed me up, man. Like this was like a problem, and I actually had to adjust my entire playstyle to this input lag.
Can I mention something that I had to that I've been running into? So I'm like what, like 3 or 4 hours into it. Something I'm already having a problem with is I'm pressing. I hate the crouch button. I'm using, or I'm pressing it by accident like so many times when I'm in combat, and it puts you into a crouch, and obviously like you can't like, I don't know, you can't like attack while you're in that position. It's just fucking me up like every time that I do it. I was fighting that one like wolf man thing or whatever in that cave, and like I'm like backing up, and like obviously I'm like in full fucking panic mode, and I accidentally like click the thumbstick while I'm like moving around, and then he's in a crouch when I'm trying to attack. I'm like, no.
Oh
So,
no.
yeah, that's something. I don't know if anyone else has had that problem, but that's something I've been running into like constantly. It's because like it's something that like I've never had to worry about with Souls, with past Souls games. So it's just an interesting like it's something new that they added, and it's like it's springing up a whole like new bunch of like problems for me, which is interesting.
Sekiro had a crouch button, but you didn't play Sekiro, right?
Right.
Okay. So it's not something I really had a problem with. My biggest thing, I always go critical on like boss fights to see like design and just judge on how. So my big thing with Elden Ring is, does it encourage you to do any build, or does it encourage you to do a certain build because that one works always? So I think it's difficult to balance for me. Like it's difficult to balance that because right now everyone's like, oh, rivers of blood, rivers of blood. It's this one sword that does bleed damage, rivers of blood. And bleed is like one of the most powerful ailments in the game, or one of afflictions in the game, because it always does a certain percentage of damage all the time, and it's like a massive chunk. But I don't think that I think that this is the most beginner friendly game, which is I think that's why people praise it so much also, because it's such a, out of all the Souls games, I think Elden Ring is the easiest. Just because it does give you the most alternatives, summons and Ashes of War and all this. But to Macho's point, the technical issues, the most I had was, I mean, I guess the pop-up thing, but that's more of a like a performance issue, not so much technical like in gameplay. But continue, Macho.
Yeah, I mean, it really just came down to just the action gameplay of it. Like, I don't know, when we're talking
It's
about
not your style of game.
Yeah, because that's definitely true. Because when we're talking about feel good action games before, and we're joking around like, oh man, Devil May Cry feels better, or like Kingdom Hearts feels better, like stuff like that. Like part of me like really thinks that that's because these games operate differently in how like what an action game is. But at the same time, when they have like these bosses that are doing crazy stuff and the camera goes freaking nuts, or I have the input lag problem where I'm trying to dodge, I have to actually take more into account not only their buffer window, but the fact that my character is going to move more slower than usual. I actually had to respec my character twice for like the final two bosses. So while Elden Ring is easier, those final two bosses gave me a lot of problems that I had to actually readjust my entire character. I eventually beat them, obviously, but yeah, it was definitely a frustrating time. But I would say that last boss fight was just definitely not it, though.
Wait, to that point,
The final
because,
phase of it, I mean.
yeah, to that point, this because you mentioned that this week I watched the King Krista podcast, and they went into detail about every episode. They've gone and talked about Elden Ring and their journey, and this is their first Souls game because they never got into it because it was so hard and whatnot. But they felt like this one was the one that really allowed them to like have their own unique playstyle. Kit went with a more melee based approach. Krista went more magic, and they Krista being like the one that was struggling a lot and saying that this is not her type of game. She said that the final boss and the last couple bosses were, quite frankly, not as difficult, but it was because she had the build that allowed you to have like 10 seconds of unlimited mana, and she did this the comet spell that just it does this huge blast, so she would just melt bosses. So basically she like found her unique style that worked with her. So it very much, I don't know if it's the player or if it's the build that makes the game hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
well,
that made me think about...
I definitely did some self-imposing challenges for sure.
Yeah,
for that.
You went melee.
Because I won Eleanor's pull blade, and I learned that the final boss is actually, if you negate some holy damage, then you can take more hits. So that's where I kind of focused the build on. And I learned the boss's pattern, so I was like, all right, I got the pattern down, so I just need to dodge slash, and I can still use this quick blade. And even like my other strategy to it was stunning him. So a lot of times when I would get those open windows of opportunity and I would recognize them, I would just take advantage of Eleanor's Spore Blade like L2 attack and just go ham. And eventually, after a couple slashes, I was able to stun them and get a visceral attack. So that was
I also do think that you looked at it with the pole arm and with the way that you play in light games. I do think that you looked for ways of making it an action game.
Yep.
And also you mentioned the camera. I think there is a boss that the camera just it ain't it, but I do think it's because we make the habit of locking on always. I lock on a lot, and that just messes me up. I need to learn to like fight more without locking on and just feeling the environment. But then again, it's not like the camera adjusts to the boss itself. You have to move the camera while you're moving, which I think that's why they make the bumper buttons the melee buttons, so that it's easier for you to control the camera on the joystick. But to that point, I do agree that Elden Ring is by no means, like supreme action game. I do think when you say that the theme, like dark fantasy, I do think it's more high fantasy. Like dark fantasy, more like Dark Souls. I think it's more darker than Elden Ring. Elden Ring has a bit more like hope to it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I do think that, prime action from Soft definitely is Sekiro. Like Sekiro, I do think that is has the best gameplay in any Souls game.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was definitely gonna say that for sure. Or like the best feeling Souls, or like I guess from Soft gaming we could say, is absolutely Sekiro. 100%. Yeah. I was kind of hoping that they'll take kind of those lessons from all those games and have Elden Ring feel a lot better, and that wasn't really the case. It absolutely feels like a Dark Souls 4. Which is something,
it's Dark Souls 4 open world. That's essentially what Elden Ring is.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for something a little different, but in any case, man. I mean, besides my gripes with Elden Ring, like I really think this is one of FromSoft's best games for sure, in terms of
absolutely
the lore, the exploration, just the overall, like we said before, the approachability of it is really, really nice as well. And once you actually get used to it all, then it all just starts to click together, and exploration is just really, really great stuff. I just remember being in love with like exploration in video games, especially when it comes to like Xenoblade Chronicles, where you had like such an enveloping world that had so much history and meaning to it, and a lot of the visuals that you were looking at had purpose, and it was all carefully crafted, and that's what it felt like for Elden Ring, which is really cool, because I feel like a lot of these games are kind of get lost on people sometimes, and we just look at kind of like what's in front of us and not what's underneath everything. And it feels like Elden Ring is kind of like one of those rare games that has things underneath and things underneath that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of layers to like its open world and exploration. It's really cool stuff. So it's overall it's an amazing game. And I'm glad I played it, and I think it's definitely going to be like in my top 10 games of the year. But yeah, when it comes to like being like an action game or just any of those technical aspects where I was hoping you'll feel a little more tight, a little better on the realm of Sekiro, it's really not there, and it's kind of disappointing.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
I don't think it's a game from the get go. I mean, you do expect something from FromSoft after seeing Sekiro and whatnot, but I do think Sekiro is like the not in a demeaning way, but the black sheep of the bunch because of the way that it approaches the traditional FromSoft formula with customizing and with approaches and builds and being able to respec all these things, because Sekiro very much is you have to learn what we give you. We only give you one thing, and it's the gameplay. And if you don't know the gameplay, you're not gonna be able to beat the game. But with Dark Souls, it's more so of what build can I, or Elden Ring, what build can I adopt that will allow me to beat this game in, I don't know, in like 20 hours or 10 hours or something,
Yeah, and it's absolutely there, yeah.
But I do agree. A lot of your point, again, I think that what's making this game, made it susceptible to like heavy criticism, like later on, is because the very much the reviews, I guess, didn't highlight the negative aspects a bit more, which they should have. But by no means it was going to bring it down. Now, to that point, do you think this is this year's game of the year?
No. No. And with that said, though, I'm coming down to like my personal game of the year. But if we're talking about actual game of the year, then I'd absolutely see this winning, like 100%, just because of that approachability, because of the open world.
May, though.
What happened?
We're still in May, though.
Yeah, but people already made up. Like a lot of people made up their mind already,
which is kind of ridiculous. But
yeah, I trust me. Like I wish that weren't the case either. But like a lot of people are gonna come back and be like, man, this is an experience I never experienced before, and I never got to Dark Souls, and I finally love it. Like, it's going to be that gate opener for a lot of people, and it's going to stick out. It's kind of like when people play Zelda, and like, this is the first time Zelda was ever like this in open world. It's amazing. It's revolutionary. And the thing is, I think Elden Ring it's absolutely like a trendsetter in a sense, where like it's absolutely going to bring this style of open world. It's be more popular, I guess, or it's going to be more eyes and more people, which is great stuff because it's a great game. But it's absolutely that's where I get to the point where I'm like, it's a little overhyped. Because while it is great and it is amazing, I don't think it's the best game of the year that I've played so far, at least. But I honestly, I'll probably be giving those reins to Sifu right now.
I do think that because of the way that it's structured for like accessibility by different difficulties, I do think that's why if it takes Game of the Year, I do like the fact that it is a journey that a lot of people have deemed their best ever. Like the more and more I see videos saying this is why Elden Ring is like my favorite game ever, or this is why Elden Ring is my game of the year, and it's always people like stating just how intimidated they always felt about like FromSoft games and not being able to dive in because they had this reputation of get good and being super difficult. But Elden Ring gave them this experience that they've never ever experienced, because we've played Dark Souls, we've played Bloodborne, we know what FromSoft offers, but a lot of people don't, and a lot of people are experiencing that magic for the first time. Because say whatever you may with gameplay, whatever, but FromSoft has a knack for level design and creating an environment that is truly intricate and well put together, and memorable enemies and fights and the music. So a lot of people are experiencing that for the first time ever. I don't think it's overhyped. I think it's like perfectly hyped, but I do think that the people that did overhype it, the reason why we think it's overhyped is because those people didn't put their bias aside. I think that's why how I see it, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, to even to that point though, like I was watching Maximilian Dude's review of Elden Ring, and he claims like this is like one of the greatest games of all time. He's like he loves Souls games. Like he played all of them, as far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's telling too. But when he was talking about his review, a lot of stuff I was agreeing with too was that the level design is like immaculate, right? I don't think
it's unmatched.
I don't think it's as satisfying as something like Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, where you're just traversing through the environment and then you find that shortcut and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah,
you know that kind of
satisfaction.
Yeah, that satisfaction of finding that shortcut, finding kind of like that cheat that you that's obviously was well designed and was put there for a reason, but you felt like as a player that you've accomplished something. I barely felt that Elden Ring, and that's because of the fact there were so many graces of sight, and it was pretty easy to get to a boss fight, even after you know got your ass whipped or something like that. So, but again, it didn't minimize the actual experience of like going to the boss fight, learning its patterns, and doing all that kind of stuff. So, overall, yeah, Elden Ring was just one hell of a journey, and I actually called it for myself too. Where I was like, I have a feeling when I first started playing, I was like, I have a feeling that I'm not really gonna feel it, like how much I'm gonna like this game until like I'm like I at least like finish it, and it's true, because right after I finished, I was like, damn, there were a lot of great moments in this game. Like there,
And you didn't even fight everyone.
yeah, yeah, and that was mostly because afterwards I was like, all right, Millennia's like she can wait because I know that as an action game, this game's
Volcano
gonna piss
Manor.
me off. Yeah,
You didn't do Volcano Manor.
yeah, I just know this game as an action game is gonna piss me off, and I have to like get in the mindset for it.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
missed the gimmick fight because you know how every Dark Souls games has that one fight that I don't say how the fight develops, but you know that one boss fight that has like that one weapon that does wind damage, like Yorm the Giant or the Manta Ray in Demon Souls.
Right.
That you need this specific spear to do certain damage to the boss. That's very much Volcano Manor, and I think that it's not. Well, yeah, it is the most difficult. It's one of the most difficult places, but I think it has one of the coolest like level designs, and to that point of intricacy, I do think Volcano Manor is like top of the map, next to places like the capital, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the capital is amazing. Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite spots in the entire game.
There's a lot of great, and getting to Millennia is quite the feat as well. I do need to be in that mindset to get to Millennia, just to get to her, not fight her, get to her. Get to her is a pain in the ass already. But yeah, man, I'm glad you at least enjoy it, and you now you see what people were talking about, like in terms of when people say, "Oh, this is great," and then you're like, "Okay, let's hear that," and then you see it, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I get it," like the music and everything.
Oh, the music's incredible. Yeah. I remembered that the edition that I bought with the game, the special edition, actually came with a digital soundtrack. So as soon as I finished the game, I went back to the special edition to look at the art book and stuff like that because I didn't look at it for spoilers' sake. And I remember I got the soundtrack and I immediately just downloaded it on my phone and started listening to it throughout the week as I was working or something. There's some great freaking tracks on that thing, man. It's
Phenomenal.
It's so good. It's Dark Souls and like FromSoft games and music in general is a little weird because a lot of it is just ambient music, especially like if you're just traversing just through the environments and stuff like that. There's not really much there's not really like a big like JRPGs, open worlds, like you hear sweeping music that'll just envelop you and like you're in this world. No, it's very ambient. It's very background music that you won't notice until you actually are listening to it.
And again, the only one that breaks that mold is Sekiro, because even with grunts, there's a music playing in the background.
Yeah.
Like even when you're playing, just fighting against normal enemies, it's insane. But yeah, boss fights, you were saying?
Well, yeah, boss fights. I mean, boss fights. like, dude.
Just give me a gauntlet. Just give me a boss gauntlet.
Yeah, like again, I won't say the name for spoiler's sake, but like the Black Blade, you know, the final boss music.
Oh, dude.
My God, like,
dude,
what?
that music is magical. I do think FromSoft has this thing for final bosses that they make it feel like a final boss.
Yeah,
I think that's the case with even with Dark Souls 3. Even though Soul of Cinder felt like a final boss, Gale felt even even more like a final boss, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's one of and the thing with bosses, like those are, it's weird, man. I have a love-hate relationship with the bosses in Elden Ring because they're ones that are just freaking incredible. So like you're gonna be like, wow, like this is actually like one of the best that FromSoft's ever done. Like it's really cool what they did here.
Yeah.
And there's others where you're just like,
Specifically the shard bearers.
yes, yes, yes. But
Yes.
then
There's a lot of copy paste.
but yeah, once you get into the actual open world, then you're just like, that was all right. That was kind of okay. Like there's quite a bit of that, and I was really underwhelmed by like a couple of those bosses. Where like I think that's kind of like the double-edged sword of being open world in this kind of formula, where the moments that really shine, they really shine tenfold in this game because of like not because of the lack of, but more because there's so much of in between all that. Where you're like when you finally get something really freaking cool, you're like, all right, yeah, that was dope. But then the rest of it's kind of like, that was kind of dumb. That was easy, you know. So
Yeah, and I think it's the fact that it's open world that we see it that way because I do prefer having different bosses to fight, even though they're the same. Than reload area, grind, reload area, grind. Like in Dark Souls or a Bloodborne, where you need to go to the lamp, and then go back to the area, and then go back to the lamp. Whereas Elden Ring, you can just explore a whole region, get enough runes, and level up. So there's more engagement. I do think, but I do get that by saying it's an open world game, you come to expect different things. But and I told you in the beginning of your playthrough, don't look at it like a typical Dark Souls game. Look at it this way, and that helped a lot in tackling it later on.
yeah,
But yeah, man, Elden Ring, I do think it's a phenomenal video game for sure. But we also need to recognize its faults.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And like, and when it comes to like, the personal like, what's your favorite FromSoft game? I think it's still Bloodborne for me.
Yeah, same.
Dark Souls 3 sits high for me, and not really because of like I guess the overall flow of the game, I guess we can say. It was honestly because of just the aesthetic of it, and when me and you jumped into it, that's when I was like, all right, this game is like really something special.
So much fun.
Yeah,
So
that
much
was
fun.
that was some of the most fun co-op experience I've had in the game in quite a long time.
Yeah, man.
So that was good stuff. And then jumping into Bloodborne, the Old Hunters DLC, which is amazing. I literally just finished Bloodborne too, so I had the fresh perspective of that. But
Hey.
dude, like the Old Hunters DLC, the actual flow of like going through environments and the aesthetic and everything about Bloodborne is just like so enveloping, so much fun. I enjoyed every second of it.
Absolutely. There's a certain person on Twitter that had a lot of bias with Elden Ring, and even he said, after giving it a lot of thought, I still think that Bloodborne is my favorite Souls game. But I do think Elden Ring is still good, and it's like, okay, then you realize that you did like go far and beyond of like praising the game and then like take a step back, because at the end of the day, when the waters clear up and the mist just subsides, you very much are like, okay, I know what I prefer. And I've told you, Macho, how thematically I do prefer Bloodborne because it's so different. There's no games where you literally go from fighting beasts in a plaza, where it's light up by these crucified, people that were turning into beasts, versus just at the end, you're just fighting eldritch beasts and this whole cosmological aspect to the game. It's so fascinating. Not only do I prefer horror, but I guess that's part of the reason why I prefer it. But gameplay wise, for sure, Sekiro.
Yeah. I 100% agree. It's like I said, Elden Ring's a really special game, and it's definitely gonna get its high marks. It already has gotten its high marks. Nothing's really gonna stop that train, I feel like. But yeah, I kind of wish people would be a little more real about the negative aspects of it. At least on a technical level, like design level, I think it's amazing. But technical level, a lot of people are having problems. Like I thought it was just me. Sometimes I was just like, man, this input lag is crazy. Like maybe it's just my controller.
I do think you're capping a little bit because your Kingdom Hearts is sometimes showed, and you're like, man, this input lag needs to be 0.000001, and it's like, okay, like certain things are the impolite is not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. It's just machos capping. Okay, machos capping.
Nah, it's not, because then I actually got a response from my friend. He was like, "Nah, like it's there, it's there."
Nah.
It's what do you mean not? This thing's
Nah.
what do you mean? It's 100%, especially that last boss fight. It's 100% there. You cannot convince me otherwise. And that's what I'm saying before. Like Elden Ring as an action game fucking sucks because it wants.
I don't think fucking sucks, but yeah.
It wants to throw so much like stuff at you and wants you to respond, but at the same time it wants to be like, hey, let me just slow down the frames real quick so that you can actually respond. Like it's that bullshit in FromSoft games that's technical that's like not really good.
You were the one that were trying to do the ability, the L2 ability, and you were like, oh, man, why do I keep dying? It's like, because the damn ability takes a minute to charge up.
But my guy, I'm changing up my builds and actually like going through different.
Well, I don't know what you use. What did you use? Did you use a big weapon? What did you use?
No, I used Eleanor's pole blade. And I actually took it off of the double-handed stance and actually did slashing and rolling. And I didn't even use the bleed effect. I used it because it was fast. And that was the best thing I had as like an upgraded weapon. So.
Cap. Cap. I don't think fucking sucks is the right way to say it. I do think it's not an action game to the T. But I do think that there's a bit of cap in there, but we'll hear what Soul has to say later on in the weeks when he plays more of it. I don't know if he has some input lag issues or like if it's a fucking horrible, abysmal. But for me, it plays better than Dark Souls 3 for sure. And
I don't even know about that actually. I don't know. Maybe I think so too.
Yeah. But we'll see. Soul, any comment?
Nope.
There you go. then officially macho capping. All right, we'll continue.
Oh man, the fanboy is coming out right now. That's wild.
Hey man, get good.
that fanboy's coming out right now. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think Elden Ring is amazing. But yeah,
it's pretty good.
It's all right. Is that all that you played this week, Macho?
Other than Castlevania, yeah.
Played himself.
Wow, you hurting your feelings right now, boy. This is wild. Jeez, it's okay. Miyazaki like be all right. He's okay.
Yeah, man.
You know what it sounds like to me?
There you go.
You know what it sounds like to me?
What's up?
What? Sounds like a lot of boat licking. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. They don't need my licks on them boots. I am good.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm chilling.
Miyazaki alligator skin slippers he's got on.
Hey man, Miyazaki is doing fine without my help. I don't need to defend him.
It's okay, man. If you sent that personal letter to him, it's okay. He's all right. Little hearts around it. It's all right.
Anyway, let's jump in. Let's jump into the some of these topics, man. Let's go ahead.
To be clear to people over there, me and Walt are cool. There's no shade here.
Yeah. We give
each other like shit all the time. So.
Yeah, but he is capping.
This dude, man. We'll take this off. We'll take this off the podcast. Right?
Yeah, we'll go to the octagon.
So the main sort of like how the week started, and you know we kind of talked about this earlier in the podcast, was that like this week started off with a bang, and then after that it just kind of like died off. But the reason for that was because Square Enix was busy making business transactions, some poor ones, some people may say.
Yeah. Crazy.
So if you're living under a rock, Square Enix announced both Square Enix and Embracer announced on Monday that Square Enix will be selling off Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal to Embracer Group for a total of $300 million.
A steal.
Yeah, which is
crazy, dude.
Is wild. So,
crazy.
To add a little bit of context, let's read for Square at least the purpose of the transaction, why they are doing this. So, quote unquote, the transaction will assist the company in adapting to the changes underway in the global business environment by establishing a more efficient allocation of resources, which will enhance corporate value by accelerating growth in the company's core business in the digital entertainment domain. In addition, the transaction enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud, which the last two is not too surprising since everyone is kind of doing that. The move is based on the policy of business structure optimization that the company set forth under the medium-term business strategy unveiled May 13th, 2021. Okay, so yeah, obviously the main sort of thing to pick out there is obviously that this is sort of to help launch their new businesses in the vein of like their investments in the fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. I don't know how this apparently will help them do that, but that's what they're saying. But anyway, you guys woke up on Monday. You see this news, right? You see Shinobi, Nivelle, who's the other one? Z Huge probably, Wario64, right? You see all these guys tweeting this out. That Embracer has acquired these 3 studios from Square Enix for 300 million. What is your first reaction?
Yes.
I pinched myself first.
Yes. You said yes.
This man, that's not what I expected. That's not what I expected from these Square.
I was like
fans.
the WWE gif of the guy. I think it's like the wrestler with the red shirt where he has his arms up. He was like, yes, yes.
No.
Yeah.
I'll agree. I'll agree with Walt and say the cap you just spat, man.
Yeah, man.
How's the cap?
How's the cap?
How's the cap?
Honestly, I mean, as a first reaction, I don't think that would be mine because I needed to think about it, and then I was like, okay, I think this is good. Not for the reasons that Square did it, but I do think that first I was like, is this a dark timeline? Is this for real? Why Square? But
Right.
then
So
I thought,
wait. So let me actually expand that because like when I read the tweet, I didn't see
you better.
why they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't like when I sent you guys a press release. That was after the fact. I was like, my initial reaction, and I saw like, hey, they sold off their Western division. I was like, yes, finally, because like it was bound to happen. Like it was absolutely just going to happen with all like the crazy stuff that was happening. But for the why they did it, then that's why I was like, God damn it. but continue, Walt. Continue.
You know what? I wanna listen to your adventure because honestly, if you went from yes to I think I'm more on like yeah, but I want to like hear first because you're more like square forward, and maybe there's something I might not know and I might clown myself. So you first.
Okay. All right. So I mean, well, selling it for 300 million, I've reading that felt like a straight up slap in the face of Tomb Raider and to Lara Croft. But really thinking about it and really going to like the weeds of like how much money they were making, what they were doing with the franchise, and on top of like how they really treated those Western studios. To me, it was just it was something that was inevitable to happen. And frankly, I'm happy about it because that just means that for those devs, we're ending up with a Embracer Group. Hopefully, it actually ends up going better than what Square Enix has been doing. And they get the creative freedom, and they actually make the games, and they won't have to have the Square overlords over them being like, no, you're not doing things right, or it was super disappointing despite critical and mass reception, wherever the case may be. But yeah, it was just at that point where I was like, all right, I'm ready for Square Enix to let go of these Western studios, sell them off to somebody, right? If it's not going to be a Embracer Group, probably would have been Microsoft, it probably would have been PlayStation. Hell, man, it could have been Nintendo. I don't care. Get rid of that Western division so you can focus on what you are actually great at doing, which is making, your Japanese-centric games from Triangle Strategy with Team Asano, with the Final Fantasy Remake team. We also have the Final Fantasy
even
14
that
team.
even that has been kind of shaky recently.
No, I mean, what do you mean?
I mean, Balan Wonder World, right?
Oh, Balan Wonder World and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
you mean that stuff?
Babylon's Fall, even Strangers of Paradise, right? So like,
True. Yeah, and so specifically anything that's not Square Enix in house has been absolutely shaky. Yeah, 100%. But when it came to actually like stuff that has been in house and the studios that they manage and all that stuff, and that's been pretty rock solid and been pretty good. Great, even if I'll just say. But when it comes to their Western stuff, that even though they've been making great games, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think the Tomb Raider series is pretty good. The first one being the best one to me. Never played Deus Ex. I guess the Life is Strange stuff was pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know you are. You really like that?
Yeah,
Love it.
they still like retain the IP for Life is Strange and Outriders, I believe, and there was something else too, which is weird because you would think that also like on top of selling off Crystal and Eidos and Square Montreal that they would also want to get rid of like things like you know Life is Strange and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's interesting that they see apparently, or you would assume, see value in those IPs, but not something like a Tomb Raider or a Deus Ex.
Right, right. So going off of that, it's just in my head I was like, all right, you're cutting the fat so that you can put the more time and more resources into what you really see the most value in, what's been giving the most value, which has been your core IPs in your franchise, right? The Kingdom Hearts stuff, the Final Fantasy stuff, Nier, Dragon Quest, like all this rich stuff that you have in your catalog. Now you could devote more of that time to all that stuff and really go ham on it. But then you actually read the finer print, and they talk about investing in blockchain, using all that money for that great IP in those studios, from those studios that investing to blockchain and AI, and I'm just like, oh my
Disgusting.
god, like oh my god, this bastard, this Square Enix CEO, this bastard of a man that trying to look for the evergreen content, or rather, yeah, I guess we call it evergreen content, and all this stuff, and man, that just made me sad. That was like, you really just sold off like some great stuff, just so that you can throw away the money into this never-ending pit, and just it honestly just was very aggravating to even see that, man. But yeah, that was sort of my initial reaction to it. Well, we're just like, yeah, this is great. Like, I finally can invest more of the time into like the franchise that I care about. But at the same time, when reading that finer print, I was like, God damn it! Like, why? It's the same CEO that said at the beginning of the year they want to invest more into NFTs, and that the current like I guess player interaction when it comes to like their games, like it's not enough. It's making fan art is not enough. Making mods is not enough. Word of mouth, social media, streamers, that's not enough. You have to invest more into the blockchain and AI and NFTs and stuff like that in order for it to actually matter. And to me, that's bullshit. So why it was sold, I hate it. But the fact that it was sold, it was a nice glimpse of a future that I was hoping for. So I'll let you guys talk, because I would just finish rambling on.
No, there's hope now that these companies are not like under the kind of leadership that does believe these things.
That too. Yep.
So it very much comes down to properties having the chance of being revitalized. I spoke of always peaches and cream, like things like Sleeping Dogs and whatnot, and how although that was United Front, they went under. The IP's still there. I mean, look at Dead Space. Dead Space was, Visceral was gone, but they're bringing a remake. So nothing's impossible, I don't think.
Yeah, well, actually, to interrupt you real quick, well, like one of my friends that he brought up, he's instead of Square selling these Western studios, and why not take advantage of the Sleeping Dogs IP and make like an online version of it, similar to GTA? Yeah. Like, why did they do that? I'm like, dude, that's actually a really good point.
That ain't the blockchain. That ain't NFT. That won't. And here's the thing, like, better then don't touch it. If this is where you're going, don't touch Sleeping Dogs then, because then you'll fuck it up. Then you'll like won't go with the right mindset and whatnot. But I do think that I don't know how real this might be, but the more you look at it, the more I'm like, they have this mammoth in the background of FF14. They have all this money. I don't know if this is like, oh, we're just 300 million. That's fine. We're fine. We got a little piggy bank in the bag that's generating every time. We don't need to worry about our losses and whatnot. So let's keep experimenting. Balin's One World. Oh crap. Strange of Paradise. it also was just a laughing stock. We also had Babylon's Fall. It poorly marketed, and or even if it was marketed the way that it was, live service, and they try to dip their toe into this whole live service situation, it didn't work out. Um, I think that it gives me vibes of them trying to rush certain decisions that usually takes time to. Um, I don't think NFTs and blockchain, all this crap, is like in a position where you can say, oh no, that this will help. Maybe this, like, through time, maybe a version in the future, because this is not going anywhere. But maybe a version in the future of NFTs is something that we can get behind of. But right now, that's not the case. Uh, but I do think that these properties, and it's surprising with Tomb Raider, them. It's odd for them to give up one of their most, you know, popular, like, female leads.
I don't
It's so
think I don't think it's odd at all. I don't think
it,
it's odd. I think that was a long time coming from them.
do you
They've
think?
been talking shit about Tomb Raider since the 2013 reboot. They were disappointed with the sales, even though it sold like what, like 5 million copies initially or something like that. They said it was still a disappointment.
Man,
Um,
then that's
I
disappointing
feel like
for
they
them to
treated
think like that.
they treated Tomb Raider kind of like, I don't know, like a black sheep ever since they handed off. They took Crystal Dynamics off of. They didn't let Crystal Dynamics finish off the trilogy. They gave it off to another developer. They gave it off to Eidos to finish that trilogy, and obviously that game came out like Shadow. No one talks fondly about Shadow. That's the worst one in that trilogy. Um,
Yep.
yeah, so I don't know. I'm not surprised at all about Tomb Raider.
I'm
I
disappointed, if
kind of
anything. I'm disappointed that they would look at it that way. Because Square right now, we get into the conversation of how the Japanese mentality of business differs so much from the Western one, and you see this type of sale, this type of acquisition from Embracer, or sale from Square to Embracer, and you think how the mentality is not the same than a Microsoft to Activision, or a Microsoft to Activision Blizzard, uh, and how the mind is not in the heart is not in the right place, or there's no heart in this. It came off so callous. It feels so callous and so cold, the way that this all unfolded. But I think it's a great. I think that not Square. I think that these properties are now in good hands. Not in terms of, oh, they'll make a quality game or whatever. No, they're in a hand of a people that might actually give a shit, and they'll actually give a shit about Lara Croft, because there's an upcoming
do
one,
we
right?
do we know that?
I
I mean,
mean,
do
that's
we
the
know
thing.
Embracer?
Right, if by omission right now, by order, process of elimination right now, Embracer is looking better than Square, just because Square opened their mouth. But Embracer could be just as bad. But for now, I can only keep the hope, because if I'm cynical, I will be miserable every day. So I gotta keep the hope up.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah,
You
I don't
know.
know. Like, yeah, it's kind of like the same thing about like NetEase, how I feel about them, because like
Mm.
10 cent, like I don't know, it makes me feel
The
kind of
tense that I
icky
understand.
seeing a company like gobble up like Embracer has. They've they've acquired so many studios, like far beyond anything that Microsoft or Sony has done in the past, what, 2 years, probably combined. Embracer is absolutely ridiculous. Like the amount of studios that they have. Um, yeah, I saw some sort of like ridiculous number of like titles that they plan to release within like the next couple years, or even like just this year, is absolutely absurd. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do agree that, like, hopefully them being placed into a different, pair of hands will allow them to, because obviously, like the Avengers thing, like Crystal was just not the right studio for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
like you would have to think that, like, hopefully that they have a little bit more autonomy, more freedom to just kind of do whatever they want, pick whatever project that they get to do. But hopefully projects that are not like placed on them, right? Because the what I get from Square saying that is that they put Crystal on that project, and it was probably something that Crystal didn't want to work on themselves. Um, so I would hope that they do have a little bit more freedom. They do get to choose projects that they're more passionate or that fits more in line with what they're used to, I guess. Um, so yeah, I see potential in that, but
Mm-hmm.
besides that, yeah, who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, it's
Who
it's it's
knows?
it's such it's such a roll of dice kind of moment for those studios now, and I feel like we're gonna see a lot better products, and not better products rather, but like we're gonna see a better relationship than from Square Enix because again, like you said before, so they have constantly shit on their Western studios for years now. It's no surprise. We always it's kind of like the old like oh Square Enix is they're disappointed again. Like it became a meme at this point, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
really disappointing to see that. But again, it's something that I just for a long time I was like they're gonna end up selling them or getting rid of them or closing down.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
I'm glad it was the
that's
former.
exactly that's a good point that we should definitely like bring up again is that at the very least, like I'm happy that Square didn't shutter them, you know, um, and like because I just feel like overall sad about this because like just talking about like again the treatment of Crystal specifically, like man, like Square obviously just did not know what to do with these guys. Um, just I feel like the biggest example is that they made them a support studio in recent memory. They made them go off to support the initiative with Perfect Dark, and that to me that's just like man, you guys don't know what to do with this team. It's just kind of like okay, do whatever. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, I don't know. I just it to me it's just sad that like they were that all three of these studios were in a position where like their publisher just obviously just didn't know what to do with them. Like probably just like wasn't happy with them. Obviously they made great games, but like in terms of sales, they definitely weren't. Like I don't know if you guys saw like the profit that Square was getting out of these three studios specifically, and it was so minuscule in terms of
Yeah.
like the amount of resources and money that Square was putting into these teams, and then for the amount of money that they were getting back, it was essentially nothing, right?
So
So
they were losing
obviously
money.
I don't think they were like losing money, but they were making like so little back that it was just kind of like not
Oh,
worth it for
okay.
them. Um, so yeah, like at that point, obviously that's going to sour the relationship. So yeah, I just feel sad because obviously like these teams make great games. They do make
Absolutely.
great games and they deserve better. They deserve because we've sung the praises of Guardians of the Galaxy here plenty of times before, and
Absolutely.
yeah, it just sucks that these three obviously talented studios just kind of feels like they're being like I don't know passed around for nothing. It's sad.
Yeah. Dude, it's like platinum. Like I've never had platinum in a sour area until this year. But it's not I don't blame platinum. Because who was behind all that? Who was like the big one in charge of making sure all that was like marketed properly and had the funds and everything. Like what did Square do there? And they just delivered something.
I kind of blame. I don't know, man. Platinum's been weird ever since. Like I feel like after Automata, they've really kind of been like,
You think?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't think Platinum's downfall or whatever it has started with Babylon's fall.
No,
Like
it
it's been
definitely didn't
going on for
start there.
years.
But this should just reinforce the Square enigma that we have and the Square dilemma that we're having. It just made it all it had them attached to another property that just went and sunk. And right now that one I don't even see anyone mention it. I don't even see anyone acknowledging this game. So it's to the point where is that really like is that where you want your name to be at? But do they care? I don't know if they care, man. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
well, I
know
mean,
how much
this
Square
goes back
cares.
to the management issues I was talking about before,
Yeah,
like, and I mentioned like a bunch of
they don't
times
care.
already, where it's just like, yeah, the guy like he lost vision, like he's looking for that
Yeah,
evergreen content when there's so many other better ideas to not only help you make money but to also make your fans happy, and he's just looking for the former. Which I get it, it's a business, but like, how much of a dummy do you gotta be to kind of like
dummy.
you're looking for you're looking for that content that's gonna consistently keep making you money, but you had IP that would more than what we placed into that. Sleeping Dogs could have been a GTA Online, for sure. Tomb Raider could have had its own different thing. Deus Ex could have had its own different thing. Like they got rid of Hitman, like the IO Interactive. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff that it could have been. They could have flourished under them, but
bro, they could have made a show.
They didn't know what to do with it.
Which again touches on exactly what you just said, that they obviously did not know how to handle these studios at all.
Right. So the fact that they sold them off for me was just like, okay, good. Now we're actually again somewhere. Now you have some focus. But then that little line about, hey, we're gonna invest in blockchain. I was like, oh, well, no, never mind.
Yeah. I'm trying to check what else, because now y'all make me curious about, like, because I don't remember what else after Nier really made me like resent Platinum, but because I liked Astral Chain, and the Wonderful 101 remaster did well.
Did it?
It didn't do anything like, no, like it did well, like in public reception. I just saw people talk well about it. I don't know if like financially it did well. And they're making Bayonetta 3, which is huge. But yeah, Square. Don't be a Square.
Yeah, but I mean, this made my crackpot theories come to fruition. And I was like, man, what if this guy isn't actually like a d-bag? What if he's he's just telling he wants to invest in blockchain for his investors and actually use that money for actually good stuff on video games, right? This entire time it's like, man, it's like this guy can't be that deaf-tone. But then again, maybe he is.
We'll see. Fact or cap? We'll see.
But yeah, so obviously with this happening, this led to acquisition rumors of someone coming in and taking Square itself. What was interesting to me, was that so when this happened, you had the usual suspects coming out, and they were like, oh, this is what I was hearing 3 weeks ago. This was the big acquisition.
You're buying a little bit, by the way, so.
All right. How I sound now?
A little better, yeah.
Okay.
Sexy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're better.
Yeah, so the usual suspects obviously coming out of the woodwork and saying that, oh, this is the acquisition that I was hearing about. That three big piece of news that PlayStation was gonna have a few weeks ago. This was kind of one of, I got my wires mixed up, but this was definitely the thing that I was referring to. It's just funny to me. It's funny to me. But yeah, so obviously, once this happened, this started bringing questions of how Sony could possibly like fit into this. Does this now make Square a bit easier for Sony to acquire? Et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I wanted to kind of pick your guys' brain apart and know, like, are you guys even for, first of all, like, are you guys even for or in support of a Square acquisition at this point? Like, isn't it a bit weird? And people have made this point on Twitter as well, is that like you've sold off the game. Like, if an acquisition was to happen, like, now you've sold off the types of games that are literally Sony's bread and butter, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy, the Tomb Raiders, right, of the world. You've sold off the studios who really, really fit into Sony's mold. So does that make this sort of proposition a little less attractive? Like, why would Sony do this now once those studios are gone, right? If they would have made an acquisition, you would think they would have made it while those studios were still with Square. So yeah, what do you guys think about all of this, a potential Sony acquisition of Square? And do you guys even want it?
I'll let Walt go first since I went first last time.
If that means that Square will stop this bullshit, then yeah, sure. If that means that there'll be a reform in leadership, because that's all this is. It's just a vision, like Macho said. Vision has been lost, and this ain't even Wanda Maximoff, like the damn games, man. Like, it's about the games. But even the what's his name, Macho, the CEO.
I think he said that, I think Yosuke Matsuda.
No fan art will save you, or whatever. Like, there's not the whatever the fan art, and like nothing matters. Like, nothing works. We have to resort for blockchain. if this is a situation like Microsoft Activision where it's like, Microsoft will make sure that the path is tried and true, and that uh, we won't make any stupid ass decisions, then by all means, man, why the hell not? But if this means that Sony, will be affiliated to a not so, head on their shoulders kind of guy, I don't keep that away from me. Keep that away from Sony.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing.
just to clarify too, Sony has definitely invested into NFTs. Just saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the thing is that these people made a decision purely for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Sony is thinking like only that. And Sony actually, I mean, I don't know if they care, 100% about their fans, but like, and fan art or whatever, because they don't communicate much. But I do think that if Sony's going to make any moves, which again, I don't know why did these rumors start, or how did these rumors start, or whatever.
Well, it's just the fact that Square sold off like basically half of its, not half, I guess, but like it's sold off a big part of itself to
Right.
Embracer. So the idea is that now that they're more susceptible to being acquired, at least to Sony PlayStation in general, because they're more affordable in a sense. Like they,
Right, it would make them cheaper.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I mean, honestly, man, like I said, if that means that better things are on the way, then sure. But honestly, we've gone on record on the podcast that Sony doesn't just acquire because they very much have like a tight-knit relationship with the studios that they acquire or have under their belt. And we talked about it in the Jay Raymond episode and how Haven Studios very much got acquired, but they had a relationship with the people involved there. They had history. They don't just acquire for the sake of acquiring. I don't think it hasn't seemed like that. So I don't know, man. If it means change, then sure. Like lack of vision, restore, then sure. But otherwise, I don't feel too hot about it. I don't know.
Yeah, my opinion directly shifted when they talked about why they're selling off the Western studios. I even tweeted about it. I was like, someone just buy Square. Like, I don't care who. Someone just buy Square so they can stop this NFT bullshit.
Here's the thing. I don't think if Sony was to buy them, I don't think they would tell them to stop the NFT stuff. The thing that I'm picturing is sort of like what they're doing with Bungie, or what Microsoft is doing with Bethesda, or what I would assume that they're going to do with Activision Blizzard, is that they would let Square Enix just be a subsidiary of SIE. That they wouldn't bring them in necessarily to PlayStation Studios, but they would let them run as a sort of independent arm that sits alongside SIE, similar to Bungie. So what that would mean is that they would literally just let Square Enix do what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I would see them, and it would make
Then no.
more sense.
No, let them go bankrupt. Let them realize this.
No, chill, relax.
Relax, bro, relax.
No, it's it was just more just like I think you even said that too. Like I realized that that probably wouldn't change anyway, but just like at least the hope that it would. But again, hope is is with NFTs and
Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
It's kind of it's definitely a long shot, but yeah, I mean to Walt's point about relationships, stuff like that. I feel like it makes obviously for me at least it makes a lot of sense if Sony PlayStation wanted to jump in and buy Square Enix Publishing, because of that relationship. Like they really took off with Final Fantasy VII on PS1, and it just kept that flow and that relationship going for years now, for years and years.
Kingdom Hearts as well.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts debuted on PS2. We have Final Fantasy X, which was a big shift for Final Fantasy on PS2. Obviously, PS3 had Final Fantasy 13, even though it wasn't exclusive to PlayStation, because that's where they actually diverted to Xbox. It was still big there. Final Fantasy VII Remake continues to be a PlayStation exclusive. Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation exclusive. Forspoken is a PlayStation exclusive. So the relationship is there, and it's been smoke, like for. Not smoke in the sense of bad stuff, but like there's smoke, there's fire, and that relationship's been really tended to for years and years and years now. So it makes sense Would I want it? If we before we talk about the NFT and on blockchain stuff, I would have said no because I like Square being their own separate thing, and they also have a really good relationship with Nintendo, releasing the Team Asano games on there, and they do really well on that system. With the Bravely Defaults, the Octopath Travelers, and Triangle Strategy recently doing really well. It's a mixed bag. I have no idea if PlayStation did buy them, if they will make all their stuff exclusive. I don't think they would,
See,
but then again, they
that's
have the
why
time exclusive stuff, so I don't know.
that's why I think that if they were to acquire them, that they would make them just a subsidiary. So in order for them to continue to release, the Triangle Strategies, the Bravely Defaults on things like the Nintendo Switch, so Square can still continue to support PC and they can still support mobile and stuff like that. It only benefits Sony to have those games on as many platforms as possible. So,
Right.
I mean, it's very much the same thing as Bungie. Why Bungie will continue to be multi-platform, and why Sony is totally okay with letting them do what they want and make that decision on their own. So yeah, I expect if this was ever to happen, that Square would operate very similarly to that.
Yeah, and but to that point actually, where like they want these games everywhere, then I immediately thought to myself, well, then what about 16? What about Final Fantasy remake? And it goes back to the whole what brings your console value, and it ties into those JRPGs, and like people see that as like the home of Final Fantasy for some people, and other people see it as Nintendo. But then again, we go to the other side of it too, where like if that did happen, and Xbox has a lock on Western RPGs with Elder Scrolls and the people who are the people that made Outer Worlds, Obsidian,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Obsidian and stuff like that. So they seem to have a lock with Western RPGs, and then if they were to do this with Square, they'll have a lock on JRPGs, at least the biggest ones, right? The big name JRPGs. It would kind of suck for Xbox fans because they've been really touting for having JRPGs, having like a diversity lineup of RPGs on the console of their choice, and this would absolutely just be the nail in the coffin on top of really what's been happening lately with all the exclusive stuff anyway, like Valkyria Elysium. No, there's been no mention of any Xbox version of that. Battlefield Chronicles, which is all the new stuff that Square's coming out with, so I don't know, man. It's such a mixed bag. It feels so unpredictable. Like what will be exclusive, what not will be exclusive if they did end up being bought. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting conversation or thing to think about. What I want it to happen, I mean, I guess I would be okay with it if it is like very much along the lines of they're still releasing games like semi multi-platform. Because again, like I don't like the idea of pulling games away from or franchises away from other platforms that have existed there before. So that's why if they were to make just go out and make everything exclusive, it would feel a little like I don't know. I personally wouldn't like that. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, like I don't know, like kind of like talking about this a little bit deeper. Like I don't know, like obviously like Final Fantasy 14 is massive. It's a juggernaut. And like
Mm-hmm.
aside from that, like the mainline Final Fantasies take so long to come out, right? In between gaps. I mean, 15 the jump between 15 to 16 has been what? 15 came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it, 4, 5, 6 years between those major entries, and of course, obviously, you have Final Fantasy VII Remake in between, but like even that took a very long time to make. Um, and then even Kingdom Hearts as well, right, Macho? Like there's large. I know. Obviously, the gap between 3 and 4 is smaller, but like, those games take a really, really long time to make as well. So like, and obviously, when they come out, they sell a fuckload of copies. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that like, in an era where content is becoming more and more important, and like the speed in which you can pump out that content is it really like advantageous to Sony to get a company that takes so long to make their games? You know what I'm saying?
Well, to be fair,
Um,
like 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are such anomalies because they had development shifts so much, like
yeah,
to the point where like it's absolutely a miracle that Final 15 even came out because that game had to be reworked from the ground up. Well, so to speak, like it had like the foundation. It just literally need to be reworked entirely once it got a new director. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 had to go under a completely new engine. And for Final Fantasy 7 Remake, they had to put that game in house. It was not even with Square Enix in house at first. So with those 3 games, I feel like it's very specific, and they had development troubles from the get go. When it comes to 14, though, that was the one where it has consistent rollout, and it's always quality, which is why I think that that team, specifically why that division in Square Enix was being placed on the next mainline Final Fantasy, to really see to at least set the foundation of what the workflow can be like. And yeah, while it's been worked on for a long time, I also think it's because Final Fantasy 15 had DLC rollout for like 2 years. So I think that was also another factor into it. And at the same time, they were actually working on Forspoken, so that's another thing to consider as well.
If it ain't Final Fantasy, there's some gripes with it. Like it's honestly like it's like all they know is Final Fantasy. Hey, makes sense. It's their bread and butter. It's the one like Titan out of all video game history. Final Fantasy is very much a cornerstone in video games, so it makes sense that they perfected that art. But goddamn, man, at what cost?
Yeah. I don't know. Again, like I've always been team Capcom, I guess. That I would prefer Capcom over Square any day of the week. But yeah, I don't know. That one point is kind of like a concern for me. It's just the time that they take to make their games.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Forspoken, it's kind of like it feels like we've been kind of hearing about that for a while. So it's kind of like that one too. I'm kind of feeling like, okay, like let's get this one out the door.
Yeah, man, bring it. I want to play it. Come on, man.
The president even said that he sees Forspoken as like their next big thing, like their next big franchise, which I really don't think that's gonna be the case. But
we'll see about that.
Get it into my hands. We'll see. Macho and I will tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely playing it because I think the gameplay looks really cool. But
hell yeah.
But yeah, no, he sees it like as their next big thing, which is like kind of crazy.
We'll see, brother. We'll see.
But yeah, we'll see. But in terms of like Sony and stuff like that, I feel like there's a higher possibility now that they can actually acquire them. And again, if it was like a week ago, I would have been like, no, I'm good. Like Sony's good. They're good with their ad. It doesn't really make much sense to me. Like they have a vision of themselves, and I don't know if that really aligns with Square Enix. But now that they're actually going to sell off and they sell out the Western division, and they probably want to get bought, and they're probably looking and talking with Sony about that kind of stuff. But if that's the case, then I mean, it is what it is. As long as they keep making games I love, I really don't care at this point.
Yeah, sure. That's the big thing. Oh man, I can't believe I say this. If you're gonna do NFTs, at least make good games. Like, do whatever you need to do on the side, but man, like, keep doing what you do best. Because honestly, at this point, there's no stopping this train. The train already started, a couple, 2 years ago already. Like, with the whole
because a lot of their other ideas have failed. Live service games, mobile games isn't doing enough. Probably, I mean, it's probably doing amazing, but for them, it's not enough. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess we will see.
We'll see. Come on, man, and don't keep it on PlayStation. Because here's the thing, y'all. I need to emphasize it. It's so important. But Soul wants to play Kingdom Hearts, so keep that on PlayStation, man.
Exactly.
He wants to play Kingdom Hearts 4.
Exactly. Just so y'all know, the all one package is $30, so go get it.
All right. So yeah, that's gonna do it for Square Embracer and the potential for a Sony acquisition. What should we do next? What do you want to talk about next?
We covered Embracer and Sony the same. Oh yeah, so that's like 3 topics that we covered there. A summer game fest.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest predictions. Yeah,
man. Y'all start.
Right, so earlier this week, Jeff Keighley came out and said he announced the date for Summer Games Fest. Something that was really cool to me that I'm actually interested in is that he also said that it's going to be playing in a few select IMAX
baby.
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
Super.
So one of my biggest regrets, man, is not being able to not buying tickets fast enough for some of the PlayStation E3 shows were actually happening
Mm.
in a theater like 20 minutes away from me, and I was never able to get tickets fast enough. They would sell out like literally out of the snap of a finger.
Wow.
So I'm
Oh
hoping
man.
that I could do this one. But yeah,
So to
that
that
was a pretty
point,
cool announcement.
you know who else got not IMAX, but you know who was able to get their show on theaters a couple times. Critical Role. They were able to broadcast some of their sessions in certain theaters. I think it was only AMC's though, not Regal. So it's really cool, man. Pretty cool stuff. How the more and more like these shows, like if E3 is not happening, and whatnot, like oh man, bring that to the theaters. You know that experience, like a whole crowd, and like I don't know, Bloodborne 2 gets announced. You know how that crowd's gonna go. Oh man.
No.
Jeff Keighley really want to put the nail in the coffin E3. He's like, I'm putting this shit in IMAX theaters next.
Y'all can catch me in IMAX, y'all.
That's crazy.
But yeah, man. So kind of want to get like so yeah. Let's do whether you just want to do like one big prediction or multiple like smaller ones or whatever. What do you guys expect to see at the show?
Sorry, I'm much.
I expect to
I
see a lot.
hear you. I want to hear you
expect
cap.
to see a lot. I'm going with full expectations here. I'm gonna be the guy that Soul hates.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be the guy that Soul hates. I'm just gonna spread these rumors around and be like, I'm the insider. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
No, I mean, I want to get excited and be happy for for the rest of the games, man. Like, I'm excited for Forspoken, so I do want to see something else on that, like official.
Nah, really?
I do. I'm dead
Yeah,
serious,
man.
man.
Again?
I want to see a demo. Yeah, like I want us to get like a demo, like at least.
A whole demo, brother.
A whole demo, brother. Maybe with the whole special edition, like official release date or something. I don't know, but maybe I have a feeling it's just gonna be there. Like I'm going over my Square Enix goodies right now, so
It will definitely be there.
yeah.
I'm gonna be sick to my stomach if it's there.
We'll be relishing in that.
Like I said, man, I'm gonna be the guy Soul hates right now. Again, crackpot theory, the whole Final Fantasy 16 fiasco that happened past couple of days, a couple of mistranslations, a couple of news articles. Definitely, those 29 articles were going ham this past couple of days on Final Fantasy 16 being quote unquote complete. It's not the entire story. I advise people to get more into the research on that, but. Crackpot theories that the Forspoken was supposed to come out this month. What if they push back Forspoken so that Final Fantasy 16 can come out in August? That's just my theory. That's my crackpot theory. That's my theory. It's never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm not saying Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in August, but if they, Square Enix wanted to put out a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which they said was actually done and ready to go, then they could definitely, do like pull a fast one and be like, hey, it's coming out earlier than you think. I don't think that's definitely not going to be the case, but I do still think it's going to be 2022. But Final Fantasy 16 I expect to be there, and I swear, God, man, if we don't get factions too at any of these events, I'm gonna be really
honestly,
sad. Yeah,
We're not gonna get it there.
Jesus Christ! So why you gotta be this man? Why you gotta be this guy?
We're not gonna get it there.
Because they said they're rolling remake and factions together, right?
No one said that.
Yeah, I said it right now.
No one.
Punk.
PlayStation's not. They're not gonna show one of their big guns at goddamn Jeff Keighley's show.
Hey man, it's the only big gun this year. What you mean?
What did they show? What did they show last year? It was just the Death Stranding director's cut thing. Was that last year? Yeah, it was last year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn. Hey man, but this year they canceled E3, man. So
no, didn't they give Ratchet and Clank to Jeff Keighley too?
That was Gamescom. Yeah, the opening night live. That was 2020, August 2020.
Okay.
But I mean, but that was that was literally like the same thing that they showed at their showcase in June at the PlayStation showcase, but it was like an extended version, like a extended demo of like what they showed in that showcase.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe PlayStation will. That would feel a little unorthodox, but I feel like last year I think last year's Gamescom they literally just had the game director from Guerrilla say, "Hey, we're working hard on the game, but it's delayed to next year." I think that was the only thing that Sony showed at Gamescom last year.
Oh yeah, and
Obviously,
then they released like the 60 frames per second update for Zero Dawn.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, maybe they choose to do something different this year, but yeah, I don't feel too confident in that.
Yeah. I mean, people are really like looking towards the Last of Us remake or the rumored Last of Us remake.
Yeah,
That's somewhat out there, maybe not.
Somewhat.
But I really hope to see like Factions 2 at some point, man. But the thing is, I came across a tweet or maybe it was like a video or something. No, I think it was like a leak or whatever, like the leaks of Ellie being like in battle armor or something like that. That have been kind of floating around, and people were like, "Yeah, this could possibly lead to like a battle royale for Factions," and I would fucking hate that.
Really, that'd be dope though.
I would not. I mean, I would try it out, but like, I would. I'm not a battle royale guy, so like,
don't
if
play battle
Factions,
royale, play the other modes.
if yeah, that's the thing. If it came like with the other traditional like team deathmatch modes or like the other modes that came with Factions that made it really fun, that stuff that I like, then yeah. But if it came like Factions 2 was strictly a battle royale mode, I would be so disappointed.
Oh, strictly, yeah. If they do it, but here's the thing: if they really pull it off, oh, it can be a banger. Because Factions, it played so good. It played so good back in Last of Us.
Yeah,
1.
it's amazing, dude. I put so much time into it.
Same, man. I did the entire, not the Firefly route, the other one.
Yeah.
I did the whole thing and recruited everyone in the survivor camp and everything. That's so cool.
Yeah, same. I had those trophies proudly. Just investing that much time into the
Hell yeah.
multiplayer. It's so freaking cool. But yeah, if it was an entire battle royale, then I'll be so disappointed. But yeah, I mean, besides the point, yeah, I'll see
we'll
Factions 2 somewhere in here.
Okay, I can anticipate seeing finally like at least something of the Resident Evil 8 DLC that they have planned. Would that be cool to see from Capcom, or a glimpse at the rumored or I think already confirmed Resident Evil 4 remake?
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be super dope, man. Like actual footage of it. Oh man, that'd be gorgeous. Just Capcom, bringing the heat, bringing the heat to summer, Games Fest, man. That'd be so dope. But is there like so since you're very meticulous, is there something that you want to see that's not unorthodox, but it's like, oh damn?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, you know what? No, I can't even say that. I don't even think Resident Evil 4 remake is a realistic possibility for a Jeff Keighley show, because I think that would be more likely for a PlayStation showcase, to be honest.
Like a state of play,
Or just one of their showcases.
or just a normal showcase? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to see, honestly. Because all the things that I want to see, I know are not going to happen. They're not gonna. Atlas is not gonna slide through with a goddamn Persona 6 trailer. They're not gonna do that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They did have that big Smash
maybe one
Bros.
of their
announcement.
announcements is gonna.
They did have that big Smash Bros. announcement with Persona
Man.
5.
Yes, sir.
That's
But
huge.
that was the Game Awards.
Yeah, but it's Jeff Keighley's behind it. Like, oh, you don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, who? Obviously, the Game Awards are like everyone watches that shit. But who cares about the goddamn Summer Games Fest?
Everyone does
so
now.
messed up.
Yeah, man.
Listen.
You're discrediting a little bit too much.
Man.
Listen, I'm saying what everybody is thinking. All right, I'm just
I don't know.
I'm
If
just
that's what
brave
people
enough to say
thinking.
it. I'm just brave enough to say it, man.
That's cap. Macho.
I'm taking a bullet
Is
for
that
the
cap?
team. All right, I'm
Macho,
taking a
is that
bullet
cap?
for the team.
We'll
some
find out.
cap.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Well, here's the thing, man. It'd be cool if
Goddamn.
I feel like Atlas will announce something, but not Persona 6.
Nah.
It-
It's gonna
it
be
will be
like
P6.
it's gonna be like Persona like
Perfume.
stickers or something. Yeah.
Like perfume, their mouthwash. They're gonna bring their mouthwash over there just in case.
I mean, honestly, Persona 6 is it's such a long shot, but honestly, I think more than likely is Persona 4 coming to PS4. I think that'd be a cool thing.
Oh,
If they do
And
that,
it's
I'm gonna
and
lose
it's
my
smaller
fucking
scale,
mind.
and it's smaller scale, and it's something
I'll
that
lose my mind.
I think they could do.
Bro, I'd lose my damn mind if they do that. That same day, that's all I'm gonna be playing. Just Persona 4, like all of summer. God damn, man, more Persona, game Persona. But yeah,
I
I
mean,
hope
I
they do
have it
like a
on Steam,
perfume.
but I will 100% buy it on
Yeah,
PS4.
man, it's just something else about playing it on my TV. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I guess
Yeah.
it hits different. Okay, so wait, so smaller, more announced, more something that's more plausible. What do y'all think?
Silk Song. Silk Song.
Silk song, silk, yeah,
That's smaller, more plausible.
I mean,
yeah, man.
yeah. I mean, come on now.
I think it's time.
I get like the hype and like to be honest, it's dormant any sort of dormant news here. It's actually made into a game where like I think an indie game they went up to like a grave or something like that, and I think it's set in the grave. Something along the lines of like, has Silk Song been announced yet? Like, that was actually in an indie game, and I was dying laughing. I love like that actually made it into a meme, but I hope we see it. And like, I still see it somewhat small because you know whole indie factor to it, but I guess maybe it's just kind of my tunnel vision here on the actual game. But I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
hope to see
what'd be
Silk
cool
Song.
though.
What's up?
I'm gonna do this for you, Joe. Okay, Joe, if you're listening. Two predictions. Bloodborne remaster and Bloodborne 2. Those two. They're gonna be like, damn, Elden Ring did so good. Y'all deserve another Bloodborne.
there's no way that Sony is going to give that to Jeff Keighley. Why would they do? They want that at their own show. Why the heck? That's like a giving Jeff Keighley like a goddamn God of War Ragnarok trailer.
Give it to them then.
I could. Yeah, I don't know. Man.
I'm putting the candles around me like Joe. Bloodborne.
Yeah, y'all say this for every goddamn showcase. Y'all can say there could be a Nintendo Direct coming up. You'll be like, oh, I'm crossing my fingers. I hope Bloodborne's there.
Bro, if they bring Bloodborne to Switch, I'm buying the shit out of it.
Oh no, even I wouldn't do that.
Even I would
good
do
luck.
it, man. I love that game. I would beat it again, and it would die more because the frame rate sucks. Bro,
Look.
oh, thank you, dude. Bring Bloodborne here. Oh, or PSX to console.
I don't know. I mean, with that said, I mean, we were talking about Summer Games Fest, but do we expect PlayStation to come out with their own showcase this summer? The only thing we have lined up for the fall is like what? Forspoken? Am I missing? I mean, we have Ragnarok too, but like, what else?
Well, yeah, who knows about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they wait till September again. They seem to really like that September timeframe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I wouldn't put it past them to put again some smaller state of plays. Obviously, like we need to know more about things like Stray and Little Devil Inside still has not come
True.
out. So I could see that, and then I also think like a God of War state of play is inevitable at some point. You would think, but who knows?
Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Jesus.
I don't think that's even like functional. I don't think you can even look at it. I think if you look at it, it's just fucking polygons.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to see what's there though.
Are you though?
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna be there because it feels like
Usually very
Because
cynical.
they put-
soul.
he put out that like reel of like games and whatnot, and like there was some stuff in there that was like it's already been released. Oh, and obviously there's a bunch of stuff that was in that reel that was like games that have not released yet. But I'm excited for like the things that like I would like don't see coming. Where I feel like we always bring up like the classics, like oh we want to see something Persona related or Resident Evil or Final Fantasy or Bloodborne, et cetera, et cetera. I think the things that excite me the most are the things that like I don't even think of. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. See what surprises does he have in store, and hopefully it's not another case of oh we got 5 announcements here on the level of Elden Ring. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not that again, but we'll see.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2 director's cut.
I mean,
honestly, I could see that being there.
Yeah, what's that gonna
Yeah.
bring?
I mean, it's not the remake. I think the remake is a bigger announcement than just Part 2's director's cut.
And director's cut is gonna bring factions. How's they gonna announce it?
I guess.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing, man. We can sit here and say fucking they're gonna be like, oh, revive Scalebound. It's been picked up again. It hasn't. It was never canceled. We actually worked on it. I don't know. We can dream, but reality is we're gonna probably see a few games and lie to ourselves and say, oh yeah, that was cool, but it was not. It was cap.
I mean, I know for sure that Final Fantasy 16 is going to be there, shape or form, like 100%. That's just a
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, if not like Summer Games Fest, at least absolutely like within the next couple months, because that's when they're supposed to make their big announcement that Yoshi P was actually promising people. Like the next big announcement would be in spring 2022, and they have until like the middle of June to do that.
What
So-
if they
Yoshi P the
did?
goat.
What if they did? This would be fucking cool. What if they did a state of play that was like Sony tweets out on a Tuesday. They're like, this Thursday, tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a God of War, Ragnarok, and Final Fantasy 16 centric state of play. Like
Oh.
put like a let's say like a 25-minute state of play. Evenly divided between those two games. It's just those two games at that state of play,
I would lose my
That would-
mind.
right? That'd be fucking cool. And,
Well,
and
actually,
that would
you know-
literally be like shaping up the rest of the year. That's like this is what the rest of 2022 is gonna look like for PlayStation.
That actually
God of War,
makes a
Final
lot.
Fantasy.
That actually makes a lot more sense now, because when they're talking about putting together like the next big reveal, Yoshida said that we want to show it in a state where you can pre-order it, basically, where it's going to be nearly complete. And that makes sense.
And they
with-
finished the trailer.
that makes sense with PlayStation's marketing though, which is what they do, where they have like a full-on state of play for a specific game and showing you basically how it operates. Well, if they do the exact same thing for 16, where it's like this is how you do side quests, or like maybe this is like the biggest gameplay breakdown, or like whatever the case may be. So I
Like
think
they did
that
for
makes
Hogwarts.
sense.
Like Hogwarts did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Their whole breakdown.
That's
That'd be
not
cool.
exclusive though, is it?
No, but
No,
it's the same breakdown that you're like describing, where
Right,
essentially
right,
they
right.
say, "Do this, you can marry your cousin." I don't know.
I mean, your Hogwarts high school sweetheart, you had to go to cousin.
No, like Final Fantasy 16. I mean,
The fantasy part is a fantasy to marry your cousin. Oh man, well,
No.
So you hearing this?
Do my ears deceive me, man? What's going on?
You hear this? Wow, that's a
I was
fantasy.
thinking of
pool.
like lover or whatever, but I don't know.
You think your cousin's your lover? Jesus Christ!
You're digging,
Hey,
yourself
yo.
a deeper hole, man. If I were you, I would just
Yeah.
I would just sit out for a second, man. You're
I'll tap
just gonna
out.
get yourself more in trouble.
I'll tap out.
But no, I see. I think that kind of just definitely put like an idea in my mind, so that they could do that for 16 as well. That's
That'd be cool.
definitely a big possibility. As
Yeah.
part of the marketing plan for 16.
Yeah, definitely.
They should do that for Forspoken, though, man. Break down Forspoken.
Oh, they're definitely gonna do that.
Forspoken's
though.
been in 3 goddamn set of plays, man. And a
Yeah, but
showcase.
explain it, bro. It's been in 3, but I still don't know what's going on.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
s-
Game Informer did a really great breakdown of that game.
Yeah,
No,
man,
they
go
did,
play that.
but still, it was more so explaining what they played, but like show me it.
That's true, that's true.
Because their version of I like this could be like, oh, I hate this for me, so I need to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I'm
I
gonna
know.
cry.
I think meanwhile, I'm just like really like excited for Spoken unnaturally. but-
We're day 1, by the way. We're day 1 of Forspoken,
yeah.
All are gonna be disappointed.
bro. But that.
Hey,
that's
I'm not taking it from the guy that bought Dreams. All right.
Hey, and All Stars.
I'm not taking it from the guy that bought Dreams, man.
First of all, those are both quality games. All right. The latter less so. The latter less so. But Dreams is a damn good, solid experience.
Dreams, yeah. I mean, so creative. Did you build your own world in there?
I actually built a little something, yeah, before I returned it.
Oh, you returned it?
Yeah, he said he sold
Yeah?
it. He said
Well-
he sold it. Yeah.
Yeah, like he
It
sold
went
himself.
It went into Deathloop, which I regret. I'd rather play
Damn.
Deathloop, so.
Disappointment after disappointment, huh?
Yeah,
I see.
guess so.
There's a trend here, Soul. That money is cursed.
No, but you know what is cursed is him buying a game and then later it goes on sale.
Like Elden Ring.
That is so cursed, yo. I kid you not, bro. When you said that DM in all caps, fuck, and it was Elden Ring going $10 off. I was crying. You had this. It's every time, man. It's every time this happens. I don't know what it is with your spending habits, but I don't know.
It was just a surprise. That's a game that you expect. It's not a Nintendo game, but you kind of expect that Nintendo tax to be on there for a little bit.
Yo, not even Strangers of Paradise went on sale before Elden Ring.
No, you know what game didn't have that Nintendo tax? Ghostwire Tokyo, man.
It's on sale right now.
That thing on sale quick, man.
Oh
That
man.
shit quick. Hey man, that
that's
game. I don't know. I feel
funny.
like that game didn't perform like I thought. Not that I was expecting it to overperform, or underperform, but like it didn't
No,
bomb.
come on. That
Like
that game had underperform written all over it.
No, but it didn't bomb. Like I thought it would bomb. Like it gave
I
me
think
those
it did
vibes.
bomb. I
I
think it did
mean,
bomb.
Here's the thing, man. What's bombing? You know, And
Dude,
not that-
I don't
not
know.
the
Like
explosive kind.
it went like what 34% in the PSN
It's
store.
34% sale. Yeah,
It's May right now. When did the game come out? March?
like a month ago.
March, the end of March, it came out.
End of March?
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah, come on. For it to come out, to be on sale like a month and not even like less than a month and a half after its release. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I still think
it's
it-
a lot. It's a lot less than Elden Ring, which is like $10 off. And that's
It's not a Bailing Wonderworld situation. That's all I'll say. It's not
Sure.
like to that caliber.
Yeah,
That's what I
sure.
mean. I thought it would be like, oh, we promised something, but it's actually just ass. But it wasn't a 2-pack of ass. It was
no,
like,
no. I mean, yeah, from what I hear from people, it's actually like a really like
a decent.
weird-
It's a decent experience. Like I've
Yeah.
seen people like you either vibe with it or you don't vibe with it. Like it's an interesting
Right.
game. I see myself getting it at some point, but I'm gonna wait for that summer Game Fest sale
mean,
that they do. See what they
That's
do.
most games though. You either vibe with it or you don't vibe with it.
No, sometimes you don't vibe with it and still play it. Like Destiny 2. I still play that game and I fucking hate myself when I play it. So it's like, you know.
I think what means like it's more like a stark difference. Like it really is kind of like a love it or hate it kind of game.
Yeah, I think you. He has to be my translator because you understand the facts, soul. You understand the facts.
Like there's no middle ground
sometimes-
for it really.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but hey.
sometimes you talk and it's just like
What? Say it to my face.
hey man, sometimes you talk and I'm just like, I got my eyes looking. I gotta send you a picture because I can't explain it, but sometimes my eyes just kind of be looking like a death stare. Like,
You funny motherfucker.
but okay, so that is Summer Games Fest. Let's hope
Yes,
it's good this time.
Damn.
So I guess like the last thing that we can kind of talk about is actually two things. The more interesting of the two to me is Prince of Persia. That is being moved. It's being moved in house. Actually, I forget. Macho and Walt. Do any of you guys know who the developer is specifically on this?
I thought it was Ubisoft. I thought it was Ubisoft, but like another studio in another region. They have so many damn studios in. Like,
It is another region.
right? Yeah. So like, which one was?
It is another. I had that. Oh my god, that was like one of the things I was seeing on Twitter earlier. I was reading more about that.
Macho, or one of you guys continue the conversation
What-
on this
what-
topic.
what-
I'm gonna
what was
look. I'm
that?
gonna look up. I'm gonna look
Well-
up who it was.
Well, I mean to go over like at least like what's your history with Prince of Persia? Well, because for me specifically, I remember very vividly playing the first one and seeing it in Blockbuster and everything, getting really excited to play it. And I did play it, and it was actually a really fun game, and it's cool
Really
to kind of
really
see
quick, it's-
that. What?
Ubisoft Montreal, the developer on the
Okay.
remake now. Yeah.
Wait, now, but who was it before?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was like a team that we pretty much have like never really heard of. I'll
Right.
get their name.
Okay. So redacted. My history with Prince of Persia, actually, I played the hell out of the Two Thrones on PSP, like a lot, a
Yeah,
lot, a
yeah.
lot. I
They're fun
love that
games.
game. They really are, man. The platforming in those games is something else. Um, I don't know, man. It's interesting because that's the only time I ever played, and then the history I have with the franchises, I saw the movie as well.
Oh,
It
bless your
was
soul.
it was a movie, you know. Here's the thing, it, it's more on the casting and like the accents and the way that the direction, but I think that like design wise, like they got the outfits and they got like the lore, I guess, but just the way that it
Yeah.
was directed and everything, it just went downhill.
It was really
But
weird they got Jake Gyllenhaal for that. That is weird.
it super dude, it was like a Gods of Egypt situation or whatever the movie where they casted an all Caucasian cast for like Egyptian people, and it's like okay, it's
Right,
whatever.
right.
So really quick, development moved from Ubisoft's team in Pune and Mumbai studios, and it changed
That's
to
what it was.
Dubai, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is it Dubai? I was like something. I forgot.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing like in that region. I was like, "Ah, I don't want to say the wrong name.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to be inoffensively offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So interestingly enough, also to your guys' question, my history with Prince of Persia is like non-existent. I've never played one of them.
Oh, really?
But yeah, never
Interesting.
played them.
I feel like you would
Wow.
like it.
That was like early Ubisoft. I would expect you to at least like play one of those because that was like kind of the foundation for Assassin's Creed.
I played more Splinter Cell and Rayman back then.
Oh, good choices.
Than
Good
Prince
choices.
of Persia.
I never played Splinter
Um,
Cell.
so interestingly enough, I feel like because last week actually we were talking about Ubisoft potentially looking for a sale, right? And how also in that Kotaku article they were the ones that initially broke it. They were also saying that the next like major installments in Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and I believe they also mentioned Splinter Cell, or no, it wasn't Splinter Cell, it was Ghost Recon, I think. That the next installments for those three franchises are like further away than Ubisoft wants them to be. Um, so to me, it feels like this happening and that article or that bit of news is like all connected and just like it feels like Ubisoft just all together right now is not in shambles, but like man, like their development right now with their projects is just like all over the fucking place. That's not even including Skull and Bones and the apparent disaster that game is it currently is too.
Yep.
So yeah, it just feels like really like all their projects are having some sort of issue in developing all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the past couple of years that kind of just really threw them in for a loop with everything going on internally. It's and when you actually look at it, it seems like when Far Cry 6 came out, it seems like a miracle that game even was solid. To
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, and especially Far Cry. Something that you look at Assassin's Creed, you see how the series like it was repetitive, then it changed, and now it's just it's a former. It's a husk of its former self. But with Far Cry, you would expect it, to not perform as well, but it did well, and it was like a solid game. But it was just more of the same. Feels like they're at a point. Feels like it's a very important time for Ubisoft in terms of like transitioning from one identity to the other. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's why I still have hope for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Oh, which actually that might be at Summer Games Fest too.
Oh, true. With the recent Avatar news and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have hope for that game specifically because one, I haven't played a Far Cry game in forever. Like the last one I actually dipped my toes into was 3, I think. Yeah, I think it was 3. And on top of that, Far Cry 6 being as good as it was, according to most people, yeah, I have hope for
I
Avatar.
vouch for that. A little cool thing that's happening with the release of Doctor Strange is that when you watch Doctor Strange, I don't know if they'll do it on every showing, But before the movie, they give you a little trailer for Avatar: The Way of the Water, which is Avatar 2.
I know I was really excited for that. I'm low key a little more excited just for that trailer than I am for Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, dude, yeah, you'll be satisfied.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll have to change pants, right? Well, that's what you're saying.
Hey, man, I had to go in full.
What are you gonna say?
Poncho. I had to wear a poncho because I was getting soaked.
You getting drippy? You getting drippy? Oh
Getting
man,
drippy. Pandora full of water, man. You know.
Oh man, all right, cool. I'm excited then. I'll make sure. I love
No,
this entire time. Soul is just absolutely silent. He's like, I'll just let this suck their bull.
Yeah, I'll let you guys figure that one out.
No, but I do think with Ubisoft, and I do think Avatar. I mean, that could be like a solid guess for summer, because also they're releasing the remaster for the first one and two this year, right? So
Wait,
pretty
for
cool
what game?
shit.
For what game?
No, for the movie. So they're releasing the remaster for the first Avatar, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, in theaters. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, man, Ubisoft. I'll continue.
You remember that at the beginning of the podcast, I was talking about the arena champion in Divinity Original Sin 2 who cheated, and that's how she became champion. I'm beating her ass right now, so.
Oh, damn.
So,
Good stuff.
I'm giving her the work right now.
I don't appreciate your domestic violence, man. What's that? What's going on?
Hey man, I gotta show her, that cheating will not be tolerated in this.
Yeah.
It will not be tolerated in her arena. So
Damn.
yeah.
That's tough.
But yeah, man, he'll be tough, man. What else is there to say, really, about that?
Yeah, but I'm still surprised you don't have a Prince of Persia like history, because that was definitely a hot game back then.
Yeah.
It just completely missed me, and then obviously Assassin's Creed came around, and that took all of my mind share. But then also like I've told you guys about this before. Actually, I think Walt, you weren't here for this specific podcast, but I remember telling you, Macho, how like the PS3 era was like a bad era for me, even though the Prince of Persia games was primarily PS2, right?
Yes,
and PSP as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It started on PS2 though. Yeah.
Yeah, it started PS2,
Yeah.
but I played
then there were
like
some games on PS3, right?
Yeah, there was a couple. There's a couple
Okay.
games.
Yeah, because like PS3 era was a bad era for me. Like I just didn't play anything. So like even the ones that came out on PS3 and 360, I didn't play those either. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that just missed me by.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
Interesting.
you either catch it or you don't. It's
yeah.
kind of serious, honestly. Because like it kind of just turned into vaporware after some time. So it's one of those things where Ubisoft just didn't know what else to do with it, and so they moved on to other things.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was a Wii exclusive, but I remember one of the ones that came out on the Wii. I think it was a bad one, and at least the sentiment that I kind of get from Prince of Persia is that like after Sands of Time, that the series just never kind of recaptured that quality again after that specific time. I don't know if that's not true or I don't know. That's just kind of the feeling that I get from Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
Like, no one really talks about Prince of Persia aside from like Sands of Time. I feel like.
No, yeah,
And
that's
that I
right.
didn't even play that one. The one I played was the one with the dual identity, the Two Thrones one, which I guess it also had the platforming that people like. I just remember it was one of the highlights for me in the PSP. So I hear Prince of Persia and I just think good things, because honestly I think it's a solid franchise. It has a lot of love behind it. It has a little cult following. So I'm glad that I think it went back to the original like hands, right? Like was it Mumbai? Was it Mumbai?
Montreal, I
they-
think. Montreal.
Montreal.
But in any case, yeah, I agree. Because
Yeah,
that game deserves some love, man. That series deserves some love for sure.
100%.
I'm down for it.
Sí, señor.
See,
So yeah, So after that, the last thing we can kind of talk about is Mafia. That apparently Hangar 13 is working on a new Mafia title. I think it was also said that it would be using Unreal Engine 5. I want to say. Um, but yeah, so I guess similarly to Prince of Persia, what's everyone's sort of history with Mafia? And are you guys excited for a new entry? I think it was also said that this is a prequel to one, or
Mm-hmm.
just the
To the
entire
trilogy in
franchise in
general.
general.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trilogy in general. Yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys' sort of history with Mafia, and are you guys excited?
I don't have a history of Mafia, honestly.
Oh man, there was always that one game that like in between the three of us, like one of us hasn't played it. I love Mafia. The only one I haven't played is one, um, and I haven't played the new remake. Whatever. I hear it's like beautiful, but it plays pretty dated. Um, I don't know if it's good. I think you played it, right, Saul? Did you play one?
Yeah, yeah, I beat it too.
Would you say it's like a solid way of playing one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Because the my beginning of Mafia started with Mafia 2 on the PS3, and eventually made my way to Mafia 3 when it came out, and I think I pre-ordered it and everything when it was announced. I really enjoy the Mafia games. I never treated them like something that I even talk about with people because not many people really played Mafia or play Mafia. Uh, it's in a weird position where it's not niche, whatever, however the hell you say it, but it's also not mainstream. It's like it's known, but it's just enough. You know what I mean? So I never really got to talk about it with anyone, except y'all. Until I met y'all, my friends. Y'all good bros.
Yeah, I mean, like I just was never really into those kind of games anyway. Like, it's really rare if I even like a game like that. Sleeping Dogs and I guess Yakuza are kind of like the anomalies for me. For those kind of style of
So
games, I do like the time period. I think the time period for Mafia is really cool, but I never really delved too deep into it.
that's good.
So,
I fucking killed her.
congratulations, congratulations.
Thanks, thanks, bro.
You sound like GLaDOS from Portal. Congratulations. Oh man.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a good franchise. I like the Mafia games. I enjoyed three. A lot of people did enjoy three, but I did enjoy three a lot.
I feel like it's gonna have a lot of hurdles to overcome though as well. Considering the whole GTA news where I think for like the definitive edition or something like that, they had to cut back on some content that would have been offensive to I think it was transgenders. Um,
Yeah, there was a
Which
whole
game?
line, a whole dialogue that I think demeaned like transgender
right. So I feel
people.
like Mafia would kind of have to really come across that same at least development, not trouble, but like that hurdle that people kind of expect this franchise to do and be one thing, and it's gonna kind of water it
I
down.
don't think it's that level of like tongue in cheek or raunchy or anything like that. I don't know of what like if two and three are like that, but one
Three
was definitely
is three
okay
is
because
set in New
one was
Orleans,
definitely
but here's the thing. Before like we get into one and two, I think that the biggest hurdle with three is the fact that because you're an African American protagonist, black protagonist, the time period they make it known you're in a different time period, and your character is constantly being, attacked, both verbally and physically because of the color of his skin. So I don't know if it would change it because it's demeaning, but I know that that one's a bit more controversial because of the setting and because of the protagonist. But I don't think that you have to admit anything because they don't, unless there's some lines of like sexism. Because I know you play, the mafia, the whole Italian mafia, and being a mobster. There's this weird hierarchy between men and women, where women, they always have the more like house errand type of thing, housewives or being like secretaries to these mobsters. So maybe the dialogue has to change a little bit because so there's not constant sexism. But I don't know. Rockstar is just they always poke fun at everything, so it makes sense that they had to omit something. Um, because they're just satire games. But I don't know if Mafia's in that same vein. It's not as serious, at least.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people had those same questions for Saints Row when the new one was coming around. After Saints Row 3 being a huge, like, basically comedy fest with like everything you could do in that game.
Love that game.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Some people really resent where Saints Row kind of diverted into, but my intro was Saints Row 3, so I was all about like the shits and giggles in that game. It was great.
Yeah. Saints Row the third, and then 4 came out, and it was just bananas. It was bonkers.
Yeah. I played Get Out of Hell when it dropped on PS Plus, and it was actually really fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good that they left it where it is. I do like the fact that they're changing, their cast and everything. But yeah, it's weird. Modern games, you can go into satire and poke fun at people, but there's just a way that you have to do it that's different. You know what I mean? It's like It's like people when they praise White Chicks, the movie. It's like, yeah, you praise it, but watch it now in a movie theater. Try watching that movie.
It's bad.
It's like, oof.
Yeah, I know. I recently rewatched. I'm like, wow, this will not fly this day and age.
No.
Especially that beginning part where they're like, they're basically making fun of Hispanics.
Like Hispanics are just with this little mustache and sombrero, and they're playing the guitar and
being loud and being loud.
Don't get me wrong, it's hilarious.
I died laughing, dude. I loved it.
Because that's the thing, like, with a lot of these omissions of video games, it's because that specific person that represents a certain community, it doesn't fly with that, so they take it out. But, like, for instance, if most Hispanics that I meet, like myself, I'm Hispanic, Puerto Rican, and to state that so that we know this, they don't get mad with when people poke fun at them in movies or in video games. In fact, we celebrate it. It's freaking hilarious. It's like I saw on Twitter, and I forgot about that, how Nintendo took off the Mario Mexican skin from, I think, Odyssey.
It was just a sombrero, right? It was just him wearing.
It was a sombrero and like a poncho, and people were like, "Oh, like that's offensive." And then like actual Hispanic people were like, "No, this is hilarious. Like it's great seeing Nintendo include like a part of our culture in their games." And like, it's like, if I'm not getting mad or don't get mad on my behalf, but I know that certain things is because that community itself doesn't fly with it. So listen to that side when it's from the actual members. But I don't think Mafia falls in that. If anything, Saints Row falls more into that because it's more modern. But
yeah, for sure.
I feel you can watch Goodfellas today and still be like, okay, this aged well. Like you can enjoy the movie and not feel like it went too far.
Right, right.
Or even The Godfather.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, man, that's it for Mafia. With it being a prequel to the entire franchise and not specifically to one, then yeah, I would assume that it's going to be a new batch of characters, which I think is more appealing to me than following the cast from one. I like the cast from one, but I don't know. Aside from like Tommy and Sarah, like I don't know, everyone else is kind of like, they're all right. But yeah, I much prefer to follow a new cast.
You should play 2, man. That's the best one of the trilogy.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's really good.
We need something to contend with GTA, man. Like that's taking up the space too much for like these kind of games.
No, yeah, it's really good. What was that, Soul?
Did they do a remaster for 2?
I think they did the whole trilogy. Like I think they did like a definitive, not remake like one, but I think they did a remaster. They did like a trilogy situation for PS4. Okay. It's solid. Like I think even like with the graphics back then, from when it came out, I think it holds up. You can get pulled over for speeding and everything. Like it's funny the things they added. It very much is the same. I would like this game to be brought back, or at least something in the same vein, but like LA Noire, where it is very much the detective work, asking questions. Because what that game had going for it was the facial animations, but I think they spent like $35 million in like that technology. They had like 36 cameras pointing at the people, like doing the motion capture, and that went on. I think that was Rockstar. It was Teen Bundy, I think. Teen Bondi or whatever. But yeah, man. Mafia. Macho, all these GTA games, bring the good ones, man. Like I like GTA. It's good. It's a good franchise. Yeah, it does what it does well. But man, Sleeping Dogs. There's nothing like a unique take on the GTA formula, like Sleeping Dogs or Mafia or L.A. Noire.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even Bully, man. Bring Bully again, man. Remake Bully. This is amazing.
I mean, speaking of that, actually, they might have that Red Dead remaster that I sent you guys before. That was rated
boy.
For 2023.
Undead Nightmare remaster as well, man. Like, bring that as well. It's like GOAT DLC right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, but games are great, y'all. You know that games are great.
I mean, I'm just excited for the fact that Red Dead remaster is like it's possible. Like, I'm really excited for that.
Same. Oh man, I hope they add like some dialogue or like at least add something that rewards you for playing Red Dead 2.
That'd be cool.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah. I think I'd be interested in that. I've never played the first one either, so yeah,
It's
I think I'd be
amazing,
down for that.
It's a GOAT.
It's amazing.
But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the podcast. Read through all of our topics, so we're gonna get started with these outros and get everyone out of here. Why don't you kick things off for us?
Yeah, it's the King of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy fanatic. Dude, oh my god, so excited to get into Castlevania.
Yeah.
Everyone's been fumbling their words today, man.
I know it was because I've been reading Classic Vania a lot, so just reading like.
I was nervous or something, man.
That's all I'm hearing.
Oh, Jesus Christ! So I'm excited. I'm excited to get to Symphony of the Night this weekend. Also really excited to get more into Trails in the Sky, Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky second chapter.
JRPG goodness.
That JRPG goodness, yes. And I don't know, man. I've been eyeing Ni no Kuni again, the remastered I have on PS4.
Ooh.
I kind of want to dive back into that game and just get all the trophies again because that game is so good. A mix of Tales of Arise, not Tales of Arise, but like a mix of Tales of gameplay with Pokemon monster capturing and a really awesome and heartfelt story. Like I'm kind of down for that again, man.
That Ghibli feel.
Yes, exactly. So maybe a little Ni no Kuni, we'll see, but mostly Trails in the Sky second chapter and Symphony of the Night, get into the Castlevania games. Just absolutely demolishing my backlog, fellas. I'm really happy about that. And tomorrow is Doctor Strange 2 and Avatar 2. So I'm gonna watch Avatar tonight, get pumped up, and to be ready to watch that trailer tomorrow before Doctor Strange 2. So I'm really excited to see that, and also to see Mommy Wanda do her thing in Doctor Strange 2. So
bless her, man. Oh.
So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, man. It's gonna be a great weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I need to.
The silent and then yeah. Someone just looked up some pictures of Scarlet Witch and was like, "Hey, yo, that's what he's talking about."
Hey, yo, bro, Elizabeth Olsen, bless her heart.
Yeah, man.
I actually did that last night, man. I was listening to a spoiler cast and a spoiler cast of a movie I did not see.
Yeah, I was about to say, what? You did what, sir?
Yeah. Let's not talk about it.
Did you leave feeling good or bad?
The spoiler cast?
No, your house. Oh yeah, the spoiler cast. Goddamn, what we're talking about, Soul.
You know what? I'm not gonna answer that question. I don't like your attitude. You know what? You know what? Well, I got half a mind to skip over your outro right now. Yeah. Okay, just go ahead.
Gonna be playing on more Dead by Daylight. Trying to get some friends into it. Y'all can jump on it as well if y'all want. I mean, it's a great multiplayer game.
Is it free?
If you had it for PS Plus, it was. But
is it on Game Pass?
I don't know. You have to check. It's $30. It's not 60.
Oh, okay. I'll be playing.
Shut the hell up. I'll be playing that. Don't run my spotlight. It's my turn. I'll let you talk. Now it's my turn. I'll be thinking about Multiverse of Madness. I might watch it again next week.
I'm gonna hit you up actually tonight or tomorrow. We can talk about it.
Yes, sir. After that, reminiscing, I will be playing more Kirby, more feel-good game, and what else? What's next on my backlog for PlayStation? I'm chipping away more at Horizon. That's not. I'm playing that, guys. Don't worry. That's also being played here and there. It's just a big game.
Oh, man.
But I think I'm looking at my shelf. What's next in my backlog?
Parasite Eve. What about Parasite Eve? You've been playing
Parasite Eve.
right?
That's on the Vita. I play that because it can get exhausting. Because it's like I'm getting into the territory of like, okay, I need to fight for like a couple minutes with this big ass thing.
Yep.
I'll be. Let's see. Let me pick something at random. I'll play. I haven't been Yakuza Kiwami 2, so maybe I'll jump back into that. Oh no.
14.
We'll see.
Who said that? Who said that?
Wait, what was that? Was that the?
Who said
the
It wasn't me.
the go? It certainly wasn't me. Don't look at me. FF14. I need to renew my subscription for that because it's I have to. You have to pay for that game, you know.
Yeah,
so
you're
Square's
right,
getting
you're
that money.
Right.
Square's like, hey, look at me. I'm gonna sell these studios, but I still got money because of FF14. Shut the hell up, Square. Blockchain and shit. Get to making sleeping.
I love your impressions, man.
Thank you, man. That's how Square sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. More games, more movies, more shows, more Better Call Saul. That show's goated, and more anime, more Spy Family, and more watching this guy read Tokyo Ghoul. This is this guy on YouTube. That he's reading Tokyo Ghoul. He's reacting to it, and he does some good.
What a loser.
Yeah. That's not what I was going with that, man. But yeah.
Oh, what? Who are you talking about?
His
Okay,
YouTube channel-
never mind. Okay.
His YouTube channel got shouted out for y'all listening. If you want to watch some great manga dissections, some great reactions,
I'm on the
I'll
verge of
recommend.
tears right now, man.
I'll go ahead.
I'm holding these back.
I'll go ahead and recommend the Sixth Path of Soul, the YouTube channel, Sixth Path of Soul.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's pretty decent, man. It's pretty good.
Cool.
This guy does some.
Y'all are some cold hard bastards, man.
This man's a
I appreciate the plug, man.
No problem, man. No, you gotta plug where the credit and the effort and the good reviews. And this man, if you want Witcher, if you want manga and just all around clown, go for Six Paths.
Sounds like he's the real manga maniac, if you ask me. Who said that? Who said that?
Don't you dare take that title! I will destroy you and everything you love. Manga maniac, do you see the shelf? All this reading? I read everything.
Okay, Mickey Mouse.
The TikTok. But yeah, man.
So as for me, man, I don't know how to follow that up, man. As for me, God, just more Divinity Original Sin 2. I think really that's about it. Like, I feel bad for Horizon, man. I haven't played it in a week. Since I started playing this.
Damn.
So we'll see what happens. I feel like it's not Horizon's fault, man, but I keep finding excuses to like not play it, man. Like first it was Cyberpunk, then it was the Batman Arkham Asylum and City, and now like I just wanted, after playing Horizon for so long, I just wanted like an RPG fix, like a hardcore RPG, and then I got Divinity out of nowhere. So yeah, man. Again, it's not Horizon's fault, but it's like I just keep finding different things to play instead.
That's how I felt with Elden Ring, where like I wanted like a different fix, and I was JRPG fix until I decided to go back to it. So
yeah, sometimes you just got to be in a mood to
for sure
play something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And the thing to that point, like Macho, you know, he messes around with like, oh, Final Fantasy, like, well, but like, no cap. As soon as I start playing that, I'm not gonna be able to stop. That's
Yep.
why I'm like, I know once I jump in, I'm not gonna be able to hold myself.
Yep, that's
'Cause
exactly why I didn't play 514 and played Elden Ring. 'Cause I know I wasn't gonna go back to Elden Ring if I started 14 again.
And because my backlog is quite extensive right now, I want to take care of like a couple of these little mammoths here. Because also, man, Aegis, man, I need to get to that and get my mind blown and everything. Like, I want. There's so much I want to do, man. And Sekiro, I want to platinum Sekiro because Elden Ring got me pumped for FromSoft, and man, there's so much, man. Games are great,
But so you doing Divinity, man? It's hearing you talk about it makes me want to play. 'Cause I have it on Switch still. So
dude, it has co-op.
It's pretty cool.
I know I'm trying to save it for like when I go on a trip or something, and I can actually use my Switch and all that stuff. So I'm keeping a
do it,
backlog of
man.
some Switch games so that I can dive into it when I can.
You two should do a Divinity co-op stream.
I have it on Switch, so I can't play with him unless it's
Then don't
cross-play.
play with him. Don't play shit. God.
All right, man. All right, man.
Well, these his bottles. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Sounds like it.
Alright, sounds like we got the puzzle solved then.
2-pack of ass for me.
Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for us. So yeah, we'll catch you guys next week with the 60th episode of the DualShock Sense Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Want to remind you guys again before we get out of here to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. That would help us out a ton. And without further ado, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.